Be the right club. Be the right club today. Yes!
Johnny, that's better than most.
How about him?
That is better than most. Better than most!
Expect anything different?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Laying Up podcast, the No Laying Up live show. If you're watching us here on YouTube, we are presented tonight, of course, by our friends at Titleist. And guys, we are living in a world where Rory McIlroy is a two-time Masters champion. What a world that is, Solly. How are you?
I felt a little like Rory on that back nine. Just looked like he ran out of gas, relatively early in the day. Just looked like he was doing it off pure smoke and mirrors there for a little while. And that's what I think I'm going to have to do tonight's show, off smoke and mirrors. I'm exhausted. I don't know if I've ever hustled so hard in one single golf tournament, but what a world, man. Here we spent all this time, all these years. Like, most of the content of this podcast over the last decade plus was like, when is Rory going to get off the major schneid? And now he wins back-to-back green jackets. Like, it's out of control. I haven't really fully processed it. That's what we're going to do tonight. But 6-time major champion, 2-time green jacket winner, Rory McIlroy. It's a statement. It is a clear statement.
We're bringing in our super processor. TC is here to help us dig through and figure out what it all means. Tron, how are you?
I'm good. I'm kind of confused. It was a capitulation by a lot of guys down the stretch today, but also Rory hit the shot on 12, and yeah, I'm kind of similar to you, Solly. Like, I'm struggling to process it, but maybe for different reasons. It turned into a different back nine than I thought we were gonna get. So let's unpack it all here tonight.
I love it. Well, like I said, off the jump, we are, of course, brought to you by our friends at Titleist. We're going to defer. We're deferring the Titleist ad to the second half. Neil's going to be in here later. And Titleist said, why don't you just use defense? Well, we're going to go play defense. Why don't you use our space to just walk through Neil's bag? Because Neil's playing Augusta National tomorrow. He won the media lottery, which is a thrill and delight for all of us. So we're going to hear what's in the bag, what weapons Neil's taking into battle with him tomorrow afternoon, courtesy of our friends at Titleist. But guys, let's start with zooming out a little bit of what does it all mean. I said this a couple times. Only the fourth person to ever win back-to-back Masters, first in 24 years. Jack, Nick Faldo, and Tiger Woods are the others. Solid company. 6 major championships for Rory McIlroy, ties him with Lee Trevino. Phil Mickelson, I think we're going to talk a lot about that tonight. And Nick Faldo moves him ahead of Brooks Koepka in this modern era best player after Tiger Woods sort of conversation, which is thrilling and exciting to talk about. If you're wondering who has 7, if you want to look ahead to Aronimink, Harry Vardon, Bobby Jones, Gene Sarazen, Sam Snead, Arnold Palmer. Not a lot of modern recent names on that list. That's a pretty heady history book there. Saul, if you're wondering why you're so worn out, Rory's win probability is a courtesy of our friends at Data Golf, of course, got as high as 69% on Friday. I told you it was over.
You did. You're
right.
It
was over, and everybody
were right.
The fuck out. But no, his
DJ also told us he was going to be freed up last year.
At this time last year, I was like, oh, it's getting the lids off, man. Lids off. His win probability got as low as 11% today.
Really? Holy shit.
Justin Rose was throwing haymakers. Scotty was up there, of course. Cam Young. We haven't even talked about the leaderboard yet. We're going to get there. Another notable stat here: Rory and Scotty have now won 4 of the last 5 Masters. I just wanted to zoom out and put that one in there because we talk a lot on this podcast about like it's Rory and it's Scotty and they're going to win all the majors. They're going to win all the majors. And I think when you have a moment and they kind of are. Yeah. So when you have a moment when they kind of are, it's like, yeah, this is, this is what it feels like. They've won 4 of the last 5. Of course, John Rahm, the other one. And then the last thing I had here is just Rory's played 17 majors since the start of 2022. We've talked a lot on the pod about him flipping to a different gear, especially at the major championships. Once we got to the beginning of 2022, he's played in 17 majors now. Since then, he has missed 2 cuts. His average finish in the others is 9th. I mean, he averages a top 10 at the majors now, which is bananas. He's got 7 top 5s in that stretch. I mean, he's just playing all world golf for the last 4 years, and we're finally seeing even more of the results. So I guess I'll fling it back to you before we get into kind of like the micro, Solly. But what do you make of it? What do you make of Rory McIlroy, 6-time major champion, 2-time Masters winner? Where's this coming from? What are you feeling?
It's such a weird feeling this year compared to last year of like, you only have a certain amount of excitement you could have for somebody to win a green jacket. And it was like 100 out of 10 last year, that you never thought of a world where what it would be like, where do you go from that? Like, he could
sold the block party to private equity
for sure.
He could win 5 in a row, and it wouldn't mean as much as that first one did in terms of like emotional investment into that. So that's the part that's difficult to process here, is like, I never got as far to dream that he would win 2 green jackets. Like, it just did. It's like, man, I don't know if we're ever going to get one. Like, it's certainly suspect, but I don't know if it makes sense to go here, but I don't think he would have won this year without winning last year. Like he had less stuff this year, I think, and kind of just did the right things at the right time and was able to play enough with a little bit of release of pressure. I mean, he had a 4-shot lead on the back 9 last year and almost blew it at like, I think it was a lot tighter this go around. Nervy shot into 17. That was not an easy up and down. Nervy shot into 15. That did not go that well. Blows it way right off the 18th hole and had to work to make bogey there. But he played quickly through this whole part. Like, he was not dawdling. He was committed to everything he was doing down the stretch, and it looked somewhat routine for him. He played quickly on 13. He played quickly on 15. 16, he did not take long. 18, when he finally got everybody moved, he did not play long, go long. I found it interesting. Got over there. We got lucky. We ended up down the right side of there. We were just a few feet away from us. He was hitting that second shot, and even in that moment, he got very much crowned over there. He had an incredible gap. Like, it
very much a so bad it's good.
It could have been way worse. But closest I've been all week to hear him and his caddy Harry Diamond talking, and just like, even in that moment, like leaning. Who knows more about like golf and his own golf shots and what a ball's going to do than Rory does? And he like went to Harry and was like, "You think it's going to like spin a little bit more off this pine straw?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think you probably know that, man." But I found that interesting that he's going to Harry in that moment. And he gets over the ball, and someone just blows cigar smoke all over him, like all over him. I wonder if this shows up in the replay. I don't know if it would be on themasters.com but if it would be on CBS, like, just literally a cloud of cigar smoke went right over me. He didn't back off and went ahead and hit the shot and just took care of business and won it. It was
Solly, we had no idea where that shot went.
Really?
For like 90 seconds. Like there was like CBS didn't have any spotters out there.
Yeah. Didn't know if it was like had hit a tree. Didn't know if it was in the crowd. Didn't know if it was on the green. Hard one to pick up for those guys, I guess. But it took a good 60 seconds before we're like, oh, I guess it's in the bunker. Even Nance Nance, is watching it on a screen too. He's like, well, he's walking towards that bunker. I think it must be.
You didn't know where the second shot went?
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No idea. And like Cam had hit, and then we didn't know where Cam's second shot went either. And it was like completely like Trevor and Jim were just guessing for a good 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's tough. It's funny on the energy front. I said this last night too, but it's a little bit of a like Rory ran a 4-minute mile last year, and then it's like, man, and then 2 weeks later, like he did it again. It's like, oh well, yeah. I mean, he did, of course. It's just hard to, like you said, it's 100 out of 10 last year, so I almost kind of don't know what to do with my hands right now a little bit, but it was still thrilling, man. He did it. He did it his way. That's that cuts both ways. He did it with like prodigious drives off the tee today. He did it with some very brain dead small moments, but in the like biggest moments of the day, TC, I mean, like 12 was kind of where he stepped up and won the tournament.
Yeah, 12 was. I mean, that was it. Like Rose had blown it like, as most guys did this week, blew it long left, which I think that thing should be trampolining into the azaleas. If you miss, like if you don't even hit the green there and you just fly it all the way over the green, like it should be like a Mario Kart kind of, you hit this and you were going 30 yards into the azaleas kind of thing because you bailed out and you didn't hit the shot.
Kind of
and
the,
I think
the
Rory
Max Homa Memorial Trampoline, right? Like that. What happened to those shots? Where was
right?
where was this?
I thought this was the
last
firm
year?
year.
Yeah.
They've taken all the McKenzie out of this course. I mean, there's no more trampolines out there.
Believe me, the Disney consultants have come in. But but no, Rory steps up and then to cash it and make the putt. That was it, man. That was the statement, and then kind of exercises his demons there on 13, and
that was such a hard up and down. I don't know what that looked like. We had just watched Hao Tong Li putted. We can get there. Hao Tong Li putted into the water from back there, and how gentle of a shot that was. Cam almost went in the water from back there, but that was a slippery.
Should we go back to Rory? Like, should we just go back through Rory's day, or because I feel like the third shot into 15, I was thinking, holy shit, this thing's going to spin back into the water. And then I realized, all right, he didn't hit it very well and it didn't have a lot of spin on it. And it just kind of, rolled out on the green there. But going back into the day, it was just such an interesting progression. Those first, I would say 4 or 5 holes.
Yeah, I think zooming out just for a sec to look at the leaderboard, Rory obviously finished at 12 under. Scotty Scheffler won back at 11, and then you had a 4-way tie at 10. Tyrrell Hatton, Russell Henley, Justin Rose, and Cam Young all finishing at 10 under. We'll get into the Rory micro here in a second, but TC, who bottled it, man? Whose was it to win?
Team Rose. I mean, just point blank. The guy shot 38 on the back 9 today, and he was leading the golf tournament. The shot on 11, I felt like if you're gonna bail out right, take a club less, because I feel like he was pushing it up there and he just bailed out at the last second. Obviously makes the bogey on 12, but then misses the putt on 13, and it felt like too little, too late after 13, I think. And then obviously the shocking missed putt on 17 there, but ended up not mattering. But you got to wonder, all right, if he puts more pressure on Rory down the stretch there. I feel like nobody rose to the challenge today, including Rose did for a minute and didn't have the firepower to withstand it for the last 6, 7, 8 holes. But it's one of those things with the Masters to where I go back to Rose not birdieing 15 on Saturday.
Yeah.
And all these putts that he missed on Saturday, and you're like, man, he shouldn't have been 3 back going into the day. I don't put it all in today.
Scotty playing the 13th hole and 1 over. Scotty not making a birdie on 15. All of those things are just
Scotty's putt not dropping on 17.
Yeah.
I
know.
Best putt I watched all day.
But you're right with that's one of the things that I think makes Augusta so particular and so special is you can remember all of those shots at the end of the week because all the holes so well. All the places where you do have to make a move. It's I don't know. The following the Data Golf live blog, I shouted this out last night too, but they do a great job updating throughout the day. And as soon as Justin Rose made the turn, he made the turn at 12 under, and they were spot on it. They said, he does not have to do as much as it seems like he has to do on this back 9. If he goes and shoots 1 under, he's going to have a really, really, really good chance. And sure enough,
he had birdied
that would have won it outright.
7, 8, and 9.
But
into that.
Yeah, I picked him up. I was walking around with Porter today, and the front 9's tough. We picked him up into 8 and 9. So we watched him. We went all the way up 8, which is a tough haul, and then came back on 9. We were left of 9, had an awesome view of him making this putt, and he makes this putt. And the 2 dudes in front of me who were not British at all just start shoving each other, pushing them let's go. Would not have the pro Justin Rose vibe on the ground was overwhelming everywhere you went. Makes that putt to shoot 32 on the front. I stopped kind of
golf, man,
by the clubhouse, grabbed a water, and I heard this waitress just say oh my gosh, I want Justin Rose to win so bad. I told him last year he was my favorite. It stopped him in his tracks. He's I'm your favorite player. And there was just so much momentum going on there. We hustled back out there, and then it's what we talked about last night though, those shots around Amen Corner when you've got the lead, and it's okay, it's not it's kind of an opportunity, but it's kind of don't screw it up right now. Gets a little bit different, gets a little bit more difficult. And, you're in that spot on 11. You don't know what you need. He just was never going to miss left. That led to a bogey. He spent a lot of time back there. They had the blowers out on 12 green because the group ahead was done. And like he and Fuchs were like waving at the blowers super hard, like stop blowing. It almost chipped it in the bunker there, but and the 3-putt on 13 was the one that, I mean, he had such a good shot into 13.
I can't tell you how far off the tracer was. It looked like it was right of the creek.
Oh, dude. I was like, all right. I think this can land right of that green, and we can get up and down from there for birdie. Like that was, and then it lands right by the pin. I was like, what?
It was such a good shot. That was a fantastic. I mean, he must have hit an amazing drive too. He was about as far left as you could have possibly been.
He
down
had just like a rope hook driver. It was rad.
We thought it was too far left.
Yeah.
Anything. Like,
but I will say, you said no one stepped up. You got to. I mean, Rory stumbled out of the gates and was ugly, and then like 4 birdies in how many holes was it? He birdies 7, 8, 12, and 13.
5.
Yeah, 4 out of 7 holes there in
Rory.
the middle stretch. Yeah, from the back of the pack when we knew he had to vomit a little bit on himself and then kind of puke, do the puke and rally thing to get back through it. It was I don't know, we don't have to do course stuff right now, but it felt tougher out there today, like definitely than it did yesterday. It just felt like there wasn't the roars, there wasn't the kind of cars passing each other. There's no DRS today going on. It was a lot more muted vibe on a Sunday than I would have expected. But it just everyone kind of going away on the back nine made sense because you watch one group come through and you're just like, man, it was a lot tougher out there today, despite still no wind.
It was almost a shot and a half harder today than yesterday.
It seemed like there was more wind, Solly.
There was wind, but there was not a lot.
Like on Rory's shot on 6.
Yeah.
Back pin, downwind.
Downhill.
It seemed like he took extra club and took something off of it, and then that's going to yield less spin too. And I was like, all right, cool. Like that has no chance of stopping back there.
Trevor had a great call on that one too, where he kind of stepped up right away. Rory airmailed that green on 6, and he's like, dude, I don't think he said dude, but he said, he's like, that's exactly the shot he was trying to hit. Wind just died. Because you're trying, like you said, that's things not ripping downwind, but it's hitting it enough downwind. You got to fly that false front, but the pin's on the back. You're trying to land it in this little zone and let it trickle out. It's so hard. If that flies another, 5 paces beyond, you're moving folding chairs out of the way. But going back,
Sully, what was the vibe? Like real quick, like Sully, what was the vibe after 4? After the double? I mean, that was the spot where it was like, 6. Like everyone's like, holy shit, we have a golf tournament. That was the thrill or the horror of the day right there.
When he pulled the shot left on 4 left of the bunker, there was like, and he and Cam are both leaving the tee box, and there was like a crowd boost, like, let's go, Cam, let's go. Like Rory looks vulnerable here. Like Cam, I was surprised at the energy of like, he just opened the door here. Let's go. And there was the big groan goes up when he makes the double, and Cam made bogey on that hole too, right? Do I have that right? Yeah, he bogeyed. Yeah. No, he parred 4. I'm sorry. But Rory made double there, and
Cam hit the front of the green, and then 2-putted.
And then that's when we started picking up Rose. When Rose started going, and it felt like it was going to be all you needed was a little crack in that final group, and it felt like the opening was going to come from there. And
Solly, that was the time during the day, like watching it on TV, where we felt. I think we were just a little bit confused as to like who was in it and who wasn't in it, because like they had totally lost track of the
have that.
Where like we just didn't, like Scheffler was doing stuff, but they were 8 to 10 minutes late on a lot of the stuff that he was doing, if they were showing it at all. Meanwhile, we're getting Brian Harmon on 16, and it was weird.
A lot of Hideki. Yeah, it was a lot of. It wasn't great. Back to Rory. Sorry, I sidetracked us way off the rails there, but I think, like you said, Solly, it felt probably more much wobblier than it actually was. In that, like I think there's still a little bit of residual. Holy shit, he had a 6-shot lead after Friday. How is anybody else even close? Sort of situation going on. But at the same time, like we said, I mean, that mistake, quote unquote, on 6 when he hit it over the green. But he didn't make another bogey after that until 18 when he had one in his back pocket to play with. The shot on 7, like
on 7 was nails.
Yeah, right. And it was especially juxtaposed with Cam, where it's like that's such a weird, uncomfortable, intimidating sort of shot, but a comfy pin. And Cam's shot there was just, I mean, had a perfect angle from that left side of the fairway. And I mean, he had to miss his spot by 10 yards there with a wedge. I mean, that was brutal. Leaves it in that front bunker, and then Rory kind of just takes care of business, man. He makes that putt. He birdies 8, comfy on 9 and 10, comfy on like 11 was a little tiny bit of a is he playing super tentative? That one, I don't know if there was a wind switch or what, but very, very, very safe.
Though, right?
He did. The pin was kind of, what is that, like middle left, back left sort of thing. Yeah. And that one looked a little like, okay, I'm just going to play it safe. I remember what I did yesterday. He kind of hit that front right corner and left himself a 1.5 mile lag putt that he left short, but buried that, stepped up on 12. We talked about that shot already. I mean, shot of the tournament. 13, arguably just as good. 350-yard drive that gets past the trees, leaves him an 8-iron into that green. I mean, that was a absolute joke. And then, I mean, from there, it's pretty cozy, right? Other than the putt on 16, 16, he sails the flag, and he's in that kind of downslope back there and pulls putter, which he did a lot today.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Did. Yeah. I don't know if that's like a Rory, if I've seen him do that a ton in the past, but it was an interesting device.
I think that's more just a commentary on the agronomy out there. Like it's just been hot.
Yeah. The collars were definitely dying off, and they were brown, and just a lot more uncertainty of the Bermuda coming through there. And it was firmer underneath that than it usually has been in the past. And it was just kind of easy to putt through. Usually it's always been, it has felt hairier around the greens to the point where you don't want to have to hit a putt that hard and have it enter the green at a speed that's uncontrollable. But there was a lot more putting this week than I've ever seen at Augusta.
The other shot I would want to shout out from his round, because I thought it was fucking rad, is that low bullet that he hits on 17. We were talking about it in Slack. I'm like, that's the shot he was hitting at Riv. That's the shot he was hitting on the West Coast swing of, like, in some spots where I'm just like, why are you hitting that right now, man?
Test kitchen.
Yeah, and he steps up and he tees it low and he hits a bullet into 17 fairway, and misses, maybe not in like the easiest spot in the world, but the right spot, or he's chipping uphill, and obviously a spot that he is pretty cozy with this week with the chip and birdie on Friday, and just knocks it up to 1.5 foot or whatever, and has 2 to play with coming into 18. But was there any, TC, was there any like I know you're not an anti-Rory guy, but you're rooting for Rose, you're rooting for Scottie, you're rooting for
action.
Yeah. Was there any like off the face on 18? Was it like ball game, or did you think it was over?
Even going back to 17, like I think other years that you would think, all right, like that's on the other side of that little knob, short right of 17, and I just didn't feel like there was enough fire in the greens for him not to get that within a 3-foot circle, putting it down there. Whereas I felt like, all right, in the past, all right, they don't know if they can even putt it from down there, and then if they're chipping it, they're hitting on the downslope, and then he's trying to get it within 7 or 8 feet. And then on 18. It was truly a so bad it was good kind of thing. I mean, like I know that feeling of just sliding across the club face there, and you feel totally helpless. But I think the only real chance was like if it was like directly behind a tree, and it seems like all the bad trees are over on the left on 18, not on the right. Right?
It could have been a whole hell of a lot worse than it was. I guess I'm trying to picture the way it would have. It would have had to be like unplayable, and then you're taking a drop in the trees and then punching out, and then you're really risky. I mean, there was 95+% of situations he was at least going to get it out in the fairway, be able to hit it on the green and make like, a bogey, a pretty easy bogey. But I might be in that shot that is on the screen there. I might be in the, you might
I thought for a second he had a fried egg in the bunker up by the green. I was like, oh shit, this is a fried egg. Like, can he get that out, or can he get it up? But then you're like, all right, he can play it off the slope here. And
what went through my head, TC, was that, man, I bet he's standing there wishing I had a 6-iron length sand wedge to hit right now on this shot.
Exactly.
that would make things really easy. Let's talk Cam Young a little bit. Came in to the day tied, obviously, with Rory. Drives in the bunker on 1, comfy 2-putt par. He was way back on 2. I don't know if that was a shot that just kind of didn't fit his eye or what, but he had like 326 into to 2. Again, probably how would that set up? Into the wind, I guess. A little bit. Anyways.
Like in off the left, right?
Yeah, it just anyways, we don't have to do the whole play-by-play. Massive par save on 5 after
the pitch shot he hit on 2 was like I thought he was going to win the Masters after that cleared. That was like, if that would have fallen in the bunker, you're just not winning, and if that clears and you get up and down for birdie, it might be your day.
He did have another, we kept making fun of Cody for the shot that he hit at Casa de Campo where he hooked one into the trees and it bounced back into the middle of the fairway. Cam Young, obviously Cody's guy. He just kept hitting that shot this week. He had one on 3, blew it way right into the trees, bounces back into the middle of the fairway again. Not able to make birdie there today. And then, like I said, on 5, he keeps it alive. It just looks like the guy, and then bogeys 6 and 7, 3 putt on 6, and then that wedge that we mentioned on 7, and then just kind of couldn't get it going on the second.
Solid
9.
or DJ, he hit one of the coolest shots of the tournament.
Did you see this one, Solly?
I have not. No.
Oh my gosh! So he drives it
right now.
He drives it on the left, like kind of up the left side where you're a little bit blocked out by that dog leg angle. Has to hit this big rope 3-wood that he just nukes up there past pin high. I mean, just a space shuttle sort of 3-wood up there. And then the third shot, he just plays like like he's playing at Ely or something. I mean, just like this awesome bump off that back hill up off the slope, rolls it back down to like 4 feet, makes birdie, to the point where the broadcasters were kind of like, yeah, did he did he do that on purpose? Like, did he do that on purpose? And they're like, oh yeah, he did. It was great. Super creative. Brill, TC. Absolutely.
That was the kind of stuff that gets me going about golf.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
It was
Alistair McKenzie stuff, man.
8's fun, man. There's so much creative shit going on. Hao Tong Li almost killed us over there. I'm sitting over there with Scotty, pulled it left. He's pulled it left, and we're kind of waiting to watch him punch out. And Hao Tong hits it over there. I mean, I'm from here to the screen between me and Porter, and the ball took one bounce and flew directly in between us. I've never been that close to getting hit by a golf ball.
Hao Tong Li finished T38.
Oh my god!
Hey, Scotty,
Scotty almost won.
Can you just like walk us through some of that? He went 6, 10, 3 on 12, 13, 14. How many shots did he cost Scotty today?
Oh God. So yeah, he dumped it in the water twice on 12. And then we dropped him for a second. We came back to pick him up on 13. And I just get up there, and he's standing up in the trees up left of the creek. And he hit his second shot across the tributary to Rays Creek, and is like trying to figure out what to do up there, Can I pause you, Solly? Because what happens next? We were looking all day. We're like, what's going to be our Yeti coldest moment of the day? It's everything that happens going forward here. It's the shot. It's the fact that Scotty had to play with him. It's everything that's about to go on. So a big shout out to our friends at Yeti. Summer's coming. Stock up on everything that you need: drinkware, hard coolers, soft coolers, bags, chairs, you name it. Yeti has you covered with everything you need, strong enough for the toughest situations, and plenty of customizable options. Check them out at yeti.com. Solly, what was our Yeti coldest moment of the day here? I'm sorry, Deej. We can start that over. But he hits his second shot left of the creek. For some reason, there's no video available for that shot as I'm looking at it right now. But he is.
I saw it earlier. It's great. Okay. He's head in the hands, fully demonstrative on like. I can't believe
that's over on the dark web.
Yeah, it's great.
So he goes up there. He takes forever to do this, and he's just. I mean, the image of him just up there is hilarious. He tries to play it out of there and barely moves it. It moves like 20 feet, maybe 30 feet, goes down the hill a little bit, and gets down into a spot where he really doesn't like it. And I believe this is what happened from what I could tell from way back in the stands. He just goes over and picks up his ball, as in like, oh, well, now I'm going to go outside the hazard and take a drop. And Stephen Cox, the rules official, is there. And I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened there, but I think they concluded that he wasn't in the red line or in the hazard, or he didn't like what was actually going to happen.
So he went back and dropped it a foot behind.
So he goes back. He ends up dropping it near where he picked it up. I guess he took it unplayable there, moved to the club, pitches it out, and hits an awesome shot from there and gets it up onto the fringe. putts it into the water from the fringe, has to replay from the same spot, it barely gets it on the green and has like a surrender cobra moment. And then, misses the putt for 9 and ends up making 10. Did do a full, like Hao Tong, like 2 fists in the air as he hold it to an applause as he walked off.
And then he birdied 14. So sick.
I'm not exaggerating when I say it kind of killed the momentum of the entire tournament because everything log jammed behind it. Scotty had to wait 6, 7, 8 minutes in there in the fairway. Like it took forever. Porter and I went up into the stands, found Neil and your dad and your uncle up in the stands, like sat next to him. We sat there for like 5 minutes and never saw. We were like, okay, well, we got to keep moving. And we never even saw a shot the whole time we sat next to them because this took Hao Tong Li that long. It was disastrous.
They said, I forget if it was Dottie or Andrew Catalan said, Scotty walked up to the green. He had to hit that third shot because he had to lay up. We'll talk about when we get to some stuff on 13. But there was cool stuff. Scotty was blocked out, couldn't get to the green, couldn't have the momentous decision. So he had to lay up, and they said he walked up to the green, walked back to his ball, walked up to the green again, walked back to his ball again, all while this was going on.
Oh, I'm surprised he didn't play. Like, but you didn't know what was going on. I mean, the whole time, just gesticulating the whole time, just all these mannerisms, but you don't know what he's saying. You could tell he's confused. Stephen Cox is trying to yell across the creek.
Thinking about Cox over there with him too. Cox is like, just fucking get on with it, mate.
They did have a good moment. Like Hao Tong's laughing as they pull out on 18, and Scotty was laughing. It was a good, it was good stuff. But guys, I think we're at the point in the proceedings. I see a couple lefties coming up. I know our guys got reverse splits. So I think we go to the pen and we bring in Big Randy here. Randy, how are you doing, my man? How was your Masters Sunday?
It could have been better, but we're doing good. Congrats to Rory going back to back. That's a very historical thing. 6 majors, as you guys said. I throwing no shade at the guy. Well earned, well deserved, very momentous win.
That's big of you. Who
we
else
also stopped Cam's round recap on the 8th hole. I don't think we need to talk about anything else.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we do have to talk 9 because he hit it left in the trees on 9. There was a moment where he's kind of punching out under the tree, and his caddy Kyle kind of comes and stands behind him. And I don't know if they were doing like that looks like they're just. He did it again once Cam had the club in his hands.
We had to call it in.
Yeah, I don't know if they're doing like is my club going to hit the tree sort of thing or what they were doing, but Cam didn't retake his stance, so that got that even flagged my rules thing, which makes sense because it was apparently not a penalty. But the
they talked to him about it though.
Yeah, it sounded like they maybe spoke to him. I don't know what the situation was, but it ultimately
they pulled him into the woods on 13, I guess, to discuss with him allegedly. Yeah, I thought for sure it was like, all right, man, that sucks. Like
that would be
I want Cam to win this,
effect,
and
yeah.
I still called it in on him.
You have to. TC, I think you said this about Ole Thobel. This was 6 weeks ago when this tournament started, but you said when he knocked off a couple leaves in a practice swing, TC said, you know what, we have to, out of an abundance of caution, we have to stroke him. I don't know if it's a penalty or not, but we got to err on the side of stroking these guys. And I think you stayed consistent by calling that one in. So thank you.
The Masters stayed consistent this week by not calling it because it felt like it was that kind of week. Anyway, I mean, can we put a bow on Cam's thing? He parred in from 10 onward.
He did. He did par in from 10 onward. Hit a great shot at 12 as well. Couldn't get it to go. 13 couldn't get up and down from behind the green. 14, kind of had that was kind of the must make.
It felt like the old Cam, if we're being honest, like pre last fall Cam.
Yeah, too much spin on that shot into 14. I think it was a wedge maybe, and it really checked up. He didn't get that forward release and then the little funnel down to the pin.
Yeah, that one ended up like 15, 20 feet short, kind of must make sort of moment, and he just kind of gasses it through the break, and I sort of felt like all the wind was out of the sails there. He did hit a
great shot,
big ass drive on 15. Hit a great shot.
I don't know how you hold that 15th green. I don't know how much better of a shot he could have hit there, and it still bounded long. And he thought he hit a good chip on 15, and it hit something, or he was just like it ended up kicking right, and he's gesturing as if it hit something and kicked it way offline, and then to miss the putt was.
It seemed like watching 15. It seemed like he landed it. I mean, it's how thin the margins are there, especially on a green like 15. But like he probably landed it 3 paces past where he needed to for it to stop. Like he landed it pretty close to that upper level when it's like it's got to land more into the bank and then kill the speed.
Which kind of just makes Scotty's shot even more badass that he hit from those right trees through the stuff and holding that green and making a birdie. It's just, I mean, it's like the best birdie of the week, probably. That was insane. Randy, what'd you see out of your favorite player today? Runner up at the Masters.
I truthfully ran out of holes. This tournament, I know we joked, and it was a lot closer than I think a lot of us thought on Friday night as we were sitting here. But in hindsight, this tournament was decided on Friday. And I was going through the first part of the show. I was looking up the par 5 performances for Rory and Scottie this week. Rory played the par 5s cumulatively at 10 under par this week. Scottie was 5 under par. But if you look at the 2 par 5s on the second 9, excuse me, I almost said the back 9. Rory was 6 under par on 13 and 15 throughout the week, and Scottie played those 2 holes 1 over par. And I just think I think as time goes on, Scottie's going to be kicking himself that he's not putting on the green jacket this year. He made 5 bogeys all week, famously did not make a bogey this weekend. The first person to do that at least since 1942, maybe in the history of the tournament.
There's no way to know.
Yeah, to play the weekend 11 under and not win is just, it's going to hurt. I think this one's going to hurt Scottie. And those 2 approach shots Friday, right, where he wiped the long iron into the creek on 13 and then hit it long into the water on 15. Like I think he's got to look at those 2 shots and he's going to wonder what could have been.
Because I think if he wins this too, like he's going into Ronimink with like, oh yeah, like I'm still the fucking dude.
Yeah.
And I'm back. Like I'm back. I didn't go anywhere. And the next 3 majors set up wonderfully for me. I've been recharging these last 4 months.
These ties Rory and Brooks for current major totals, has 3 green jackets, like 74 on Friday. I mean, he has to just be beside himself, honestly. I mean, but it's a testament to him like truly being the best player in the world still. I mean, not even his best stuff. Still felt like the weekend could have been better, and he's just looked like an unstoppable robotic force.
Like yesterday, because of 13 and 15, right? Like yesterday's round could have been a couple shots better, you think. Today's round could have been a shot better. Yeah, it's just, if you don't take advantage of those 2 par 5s, which he did not all week, it's just hard.
He only had 4 birdies on the back the whole weekend.
That's crazy.
Dude, like I think that's the lasting memory for me. Is it feels like we saw great champions battling without their A games, if that makes sense. Because I think Rory didn't have his A game from start to finish, and I think, if anything, I'm probably a little bit more impressed with Rory in hindsight, because, like, especially taking into account the second and third rounds of Rory's hitting a lot of the wedge shots that we didn't think he could hit 3-4 years ago. But Scotty didn't have his A game. Rose couldn't putt this week for the most part. Like, he missed more putts than I've ever seen him miss. It just felt like a bunch of flawed champions because of they just weren't on their game, and it was kind of everybody's B game. But that allowed some of these other guys into the mix. The Henley, we'll talk about Burns, but it just felt like there was a spoiler to be had, maybe like a Willett in there, and it didn't materialize. Right.
I think you're totally right on Rory. I know we've kind of been on the Rory freeway and taken a couple of detours here, but going back to what we were saying kind of yesterday is, we've wanted him to be this guy for a really, really long time. And I want to make sure that we're recognizing that that's what he did.
The gritty grinder.
The gritty guy who wins when he doesn't have his best stuff. Also the guy who does put his foot down and blow the field away when he does have his best stuff. It's almost like we saw a bunch of different Rorys today, or like in this same week, which is really cool. And I think the other thing that kind of touches on what you were saying there, TC, is like, I'm not saying it's exactly the same thing, but you do have, like we started the show by saying these guys have won 4 of the last 5. There is a bit of a Tiger Phil, maybe not macro, but at Augusta sort of thing going on. And you do need to have, like, I think going to next year, not only is it Rory's trying for 3 in a row, it's also like Rory versus Scotty. I think it's both of these guys have 2, who's going to be the first to 3, which is awesome. And I think like a really thrilling way to watch this tournament for the next 10 years.
It's also sick that Rory has a runner up to Scotty in 2022, and now Scotty's got a runner up to Rory this year as well.
I think on top of that, guys, like I think it's setting up for, I think Rory's got a really interesting decision coming up from over the next couple of years, as far as like, do I need to play regular competitive golf to be in shape for these things? Or can I play 12 events a year and manage my energy and show up when and where I want to show up and still be good?
You know what's going to be so fascinating about that is, I know, like, I don't want to get caught into talking about Rory like he's 56 years old. Like, he's still young, but he's longer than he's ever been. He has so much. He's playing like a dominant version of even the young person's version of golf right now. And so I just feel like we're still a ways away from, Brandon was talking about that on Live From right afterwards. Like, we're still a ways away from when that physicality kind of tips and he has to figure out like, ooh, what do I need to do to be wily? And he's just in this great Goldilocks zone right now. I feel like where he has all the experience and all the tools to be, just dominant. It's great.
I was hesitant to, like, I just wasn't buying the he's freed up thing. Now I buy it. Now, like, after this one in particular is like, now what reason would you ever have to not believe in yourself and to believe that you could win the US Open again, that you could win the Open again, that you could win the PGA Tour very easily? Like, you should not have to convince. And I guess I was a little suspect on what the motivation would continue to be after completing the career Grand Slam and like the clear release that came from him of all the pressure that was on that. How do you have a secondary goal after that one, which is so huge? And now to get this one, I'm a much stronger believer in like 8 or 9 for Rory than I was at the start of this week. That's for sure.
Solly, I think that's the other thing. Like if you think about it, like what's the biggest risk for Rory? It's either like, I don't think he's going to have a bad injury. He's got a really long swing and those tend to age pretty well. It's him burning himself out playing 22 times a year or 24 times a year. And I think like I really respect Rory for, I've been critical of him in the past for like not doing the right stuff, like after Pinehurst. And I think Rory did a lot of the right stuff post winning the Masters, like going and playing the fucking Australian Open or going to India or going back to Ireland and bringing the green jacket back there. That's cool. Like, he was an ambassador and a steward of the game. And I think that's really, really, really important. And I feel like that filled up the tank for him a little bit. And I feel like he sees, all right, you know what? This is how much effort and energy I put into winning this tournament. And maybe the same is true for the US Open Championship, maybe less so for the PGA Championship. But I think this has to tell him, hey, I can put this much effort in and get this much reward out of it. Why would I go show up at every signature event every week on the PGA Tour? This is where the juice is.
It's fascinating. We don't have to do this whole 4-hour conversation tonight, but like, what is that? Everything you just said, how does that smash together with point? Well, how does that smash together with oh, by the way, we're trying to rework the entire PGA Tour and now it's a for-profit equity thing for the players and yada yada yada. I just think there's like, I think he's got a lot of super interesting decisions to make on how he wants to spend his time.
Well, I think to that point, and this is where you can get, if you have a negative opinion of Rory, this is the part where you roll your eyes at and get really upset. And if maybe this doesn't need to be said, but like what I'm super happy for him is I genuinely think why I've been such a big Rory kind of supporter over the last several years, take some of the Pinehurst stuff up, take some of the media stuff out from last year, ignore that. Say like what he did for what I would consider to be the betterment of the game of golf. Did he make himself extremely wealthy in the process? Yes, you can have a very cynical viewpoint, but I think
earned that.
Rory was super motivated to save the PGA Tour, to keep it together when it was in doubt. It's easy to look back now and kind of laugh at it being, it was in doubt for quite some time. And his willingness to put himself on the line and his career on the line, I think he sacrificed a lot of goodwill with a lot of people, some of which are his peers out on the PGA Tour, and a lot of time, a lot of focus, a lot of distractions when he's trying to get off a 10-year major schneid. Like the fact that the things have worked out as well as they have for the PGA Tour, and now he gets this reward is just, I feel like it's a massive win, whatever the word might be, for one of the good guys in golf. That like when the chips were down, when the rats were fleeing the ship, like he stood for something, and he didn't he didn't say everything that everybody wanted to hear. A lot of people don't like what he did and kind of centralizing things among the top players, but I think it came from a really good place, and that part like is a happy ending. The story's not over, but it's a happy second half of kind of his career part of the story.
Solly, I couldn't agree more with that. Like, I think that anybody that says like, oh, Rory's a hypocrite or whatever, like I think Rory's earned the right to say, you know what, like I don't need to fucking care about the PGA Tour. Like I stuck my neck out. Jay Monahan left me out to dry several times on several things, and you know what, like I'm going for the betterment of golf now, like around the world. And I think that like, hopefully I think Rory throws his weight more behind the DP World Tour now. If anything, I think that would be the best thing he could do for the game at large.
It was a good day for Rory McIlroy, guys. If you want to make it a good day, I would recommend maybe going and picking up the all-new High Noon Day Pack. Now, the new Variety 8-pack is available all year round to keep the sun shining and the good times rolling. Crafted with real vodka and real juice, the High Noon Day Pack brings together pear, cranberry, tangerine, and peach. Perfect combo of light, bright, delicious flavors for a blue sky day. Visit highnoonspirits.com to find a pack near you. High Noon, suns up, Randy. Randy, were you going to say something there? Sorry.
Geez, I was going to say real quick, like, Randy, what's your reaction to all that? Like, is that just us fluffing the guy or saying nothing matters? Or is that salient at all?
I guess which part specifically? That he can dictate a schedule, that,
yeah, I guess just
trying
Rory,
to be a global
the
ambassador.
ends justify the means a little bit, right? Of like, hey, like it was pretty uneven and winding road how we got here. But I think Rory feels like the elder statesman of the game unequivocally after this.
I think that's a good way to put it. I don't disagree with that. And Solly, I don't disagree with what you said either about, he did stick his neck out. And I think he burned a lot of goodwill with a lot of people by being as vocal and active as he was with the tour and the live stuff. So yeah, I think that's fair. The one thing I was going to say is, if he does really want to dial back the schedule, and I don't know if he does or not, I think coming here to Augusta for a lot of guys, right? You can make it work here more so. I guess I would caution against like, he can play 10, 12 events a year and show up and compete at like tough US Opens or even Open Championships. I don't necessarily think that's the way to go, but I think it works. If you're going to do that anywhere, you can still show up and
but
play
the way
well.
the way the schedule works though, too, like you can do that here and then take your momentum from Augusta and parlay that into at least the next two majors, and then probably reset over in the UK.
I don't get the sense he wants to take as much time off as maybe you're implying with this. I feel like I think he's competitive. I think he likes being out on tour. I think you can overdo it, but I think I'd be surprised if he really dialed it back. I know his energy is focused on the majors the most. Like he's not going to spend a lot of mental energy fretting about like the Truist. I just think
there's a difference between playing or let's say into the future. Right, because Roll-Up was saying, "Hey, we want to double the amount of signature events. We want to like I'm talking about more into 2027, 2028 of, hey, you know what? Like this, we're going to ask more of these guys moving forward. So
this is, I said we weren't going to have the 4-hour conversation on this stuff, but weird glowing brain thing is if I was him, I almost feel like he's got more capital than ever to basically go in and be like, make the fucking playoffs match play in some way. Because I don't like the thing that's going to force him to play those is when it's like, dude, you're telling me I got to play this, that, and the other thing to like have access to this $20 million East Lake thing. Just put me in a match play bracket. Let me go win. Let me go beat these guys. You know, it's like, that's just a weird tangent.
But Deej, I don't think there's that much disagreement between him and Rollup on, it's just the means to doing that. Rollup was like, oh yeah, like our competitive structure doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't incentivize these guys to have to show up. We're going to fix that too.
Yeah.
So.
There were two things I failed to mention, if you'll allow me, about Rory, and I should have right when I came on the show. Extremely happy for the lads at Hollywood Golf Club, having gotten to visit Hollywood and meet some people there, and you know, it just much more of an appreciation for the feeling in that clubhouse, and that was cool. And I absolutely do not think Rory wins this year without winning last year.
Yeah.
So you mentioned how quickly he was playing. He was decisive. I thought that was almost one of his greatest strengths, was just like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to step up over it and let's get on with it. I thought this win is a direct byproduct of last year getting it done.
Yeah. Randy, I want to ask you something else. I mentioned this off the top. 6 majors. Do you know who else has 6 majors?
Well, I know one guy.
Your beloved left-hander, Phil Mickelson. What does that
Still
mean?
beloved or formerly beloved?
It's a complicated relationship, TC.
I guess a 2-part question then for Randall. One, what's your current just status on Phil? Of course, a longtime Phil lover. And 2, can you like a longtime Phil respecter? And then 2, just like how does Rory getting to 6 make you feel as a Phil respecter?
I think it's fitting. I think Rory has always appeared to be that guy, right? I think he's a worthy 6-time major champion. I think he belongs in the cohort that Mickelson is in. My relation, I did feel a little sadness that Phil wasn't here this week. I enjoy watching him attempt to hit golf shots, especially at a place like this. So there was a bit of that going in me. Other than that, it's really sad on a personal level. Like, I don't watch him on Live. I just don't really respect the guy he's become, and that's, you know, that sucks. But
no longer
it is
a
what
Phil
it is.
respecter.
So I was just doing a quick little, and maybe to set the stage for a larger discussion, because I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on kind of Phil and Rory. I mean, the thing that sticks out first and foremost when you compare those two is Phil won his first major when he was 33, almost 34 years old. And Rory right now is 36 and has 6. So like just the flow of their careers has been very different. Solly, I'd be shocked, as you said, you know, if Rory doesn't get at least one more to move ahead of Mickelson at one point. Phil is obviously 15 plus years further into his professional career. But I think where the bit of difference for me right now, I think Rory has continued to do a good job of winning majors that he has a real chance to win. And I guess I say that looking at Rory has 4 major runner-up finishes. Phil has 12. You know, I think Phil was in position a lot and famously did not get it done all the time. And I think that's the one thing Rory, honestly, except for the Open Championship that Cam Smith won, is the one that like really sticks out to me. I know he was close at Pinehurst as well. Maybe, yeah, you can throw that one in too, LACC, as like the 2 real misses for Rory. But Phil, man, 6 majors, and all you can think with Phil is like, what could have been, right? Like easily a world where he gets to 10. Stenson outduels him in the Open, all the U.S. Open misses. Like, I think, you know, if Rory gets stuck on 6 forever, I maybe lean towards like, if we're going to say like whose career is better, I I look at Phil's total body of work, and granted, he's had a lot more shots than Rory has, but those runner-ups are hard to ignore as well.
I'll say this, like Phil's broad golf accomplishments, like outside of majors and major wins, is the strongest between these three of Phil, Rory, and Brooks. Obviously, Phil has the years, but like he has won a ton of more PGA Tour events than Rory has, compared to the 6, of course. Rory's like PGA Tour-ish and DP World Tour record coincides really well with the 6 majors. And I think Phil's major win record, is a little light compared to his talent and overall accomplishment over a really long period of time. And someone like Brooks is like, oh my God, your major record blows away every single other thing that you've ever done. Is that like a fair like description of it all? Because I mean, it would take a lot for Rory to catch Phil's PGA Tour win total. And I feel like
Rory has 30, which is that's a lot. More than
DP World
think.
Tour wins.
He's got 30 and
30.
45 total pro wins. It's kind of hard to suss it out because sometimes they're like WGCs
double counting, also with the Euro and PGA.
So Rory has 30 PGA Tour. Phil has 45.
Okay. Are we beating around the question of like, dude, what's Rory going to get to? Like, what
What's
are we?
the ceiling?
Oh,
What
you know what?
Fascinating question.
That's a great setup. I know just the guy to bring in for that question. He's waiting in the wings for a 3-inning save. I think we got to bring in Neil for that one. But I will. TC, I'll start with you. Where do you think he ends up?
It's a good question. I mean, so we're at 6 now.
We're at 6. 6 at age 36, which makes me think the over/under is probably 6.5. Like,
it's weird. Like I felt, I don't know, until like this week didn't make me feel like, man, these are harder than ever to win because nobody's like went out and got it. Whereas a lot of these have felt like, holy shit, there's
Scotty
20 dudes
really
where they're 2 or 3 before. But yeah, like I don't know. I think with Rory, I think the best comp career-wise, like I go back to Ernie Els and you think about what if with Ernie Els. You won 4 majors, you won like 20 PGA Tour events. And Rory's like, all right, he's got him in the rear view mirror. I think Rory probably wins 9. I mean, I can't see like going back to the way that the swing is going to age and the way that he takes care of himself and the way that things, I mean, look at Rose, right? The guy's 45, and I don't know if there's the same hunger there because Rory accomplished so many things at a young age. However, like I could see Rory taking a couple of years easy and then being like, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to get back in the mix and I want to stick my nose back into this thing and I'm going to work harder than ever, like doing little sprints, little 18-month sprints.
I'm very curious if that happens. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what he'll end up doing. I just know that Rose has been such a psychopath about craving these moments. I'm going to treat my body like a temple. I'm going to travel around with a fucking recovery RV. I'm going to do all of these things just because I want today, just because I want this moment, which is where I'm like, he might be in the purge room with Bobby.
He might want it too much. It's a double-edged sword.
The point is, I don't know if Rory's going to do that. I don't know.
Well, I think
like Fowler didn't do that, right? Like
going back to Rory's approach to this Masters, it feels like Rory's recovery room is hopping on the G650 and going back and sleeping in his own bed for 3 weeks straight and just prepping like crazy and having a singular focus,
I think that's where I go back to like the physicality stuff. It's like, I think now as that window's open, 100% agree. And then I think we have these two kind of tectonic plates that are going to smash together in a really interesting way of once the physical gifts start to diminish just a little bit, he still has all of that experience that we saw this week when he had his B- game on some spots and still went out and won a major championship. That's fascinating to me. And for as a Rory fan, I'm like, I hope he plays a lot during that stretch because I think that could get really super interesting. A lot like we didn't see it, all the time with Tiger because of gestures widely at many, many reasons. But there were times when he, didn't have his stuff and he would have to just lean on wiliness and do all of that stuff. But I would love to see that for Rory. And I just don't know when those two things kind of are going to hit each other,
Let's bring our guys in here because I think that I also think this loss is going to piss Scotty off, like to no end. Of like, man, that was right there for the taking, and I could almost see Rory depriving Scotty of like, no, you're not gonna beat me this week.
Not
I'm
yet.
not gonna show up. I'll be down in Australia if you want to come down and hang out, or I'll be over in Dubai. But Rory's played what 3 or 4 PGA Tour events this year.
Yeah, some of those injury, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
back stuff going on. But Neil, welcome to the show, my man. How are you?
Gentlemen, turn it up. We want a little action in here. Let's go, baby. Perfect timing. Some good stuff on this from the press conference. What a world being in the post-round presser.
Did you ask a question?
I was like, man, I'm in the men's grill here. This is, felt.
Did you raise
like,
your hand?
No, I did. I got a little nod, but we ran out of time, Randy. I didn't raise it early enough. I didn't. So I'm still
alpha.
Schuster, I called your name right.
Yeah, exactly.
Better luck next year.
It wasn't.
Spiel.
We ran out of time.
What?
So,
well, hold on. Oh, well, what were you going to ask?
I was going to ask about the shot in the 16. Airmail on the green there, just with what Bones has said about
from a personal
I
perspective.
call that a
right?
Nicorito. I don't know if you have a term for
yeah.
that.
Well, just curious if that was a wind issue or because it looked like he liked it in the air, and that was a tough spot back there. I mean, awesome up and down. But so in the presser, guys, he
wasn't
he
it awesome? Hold on.
What?
I'm so fucking sick and tired of us talking
Randy's
about
so
like these are
fired up
awesome
about
up and
this.
downs on 16.
They're
When
not.
clearly you just find the high point of the hill, you hit it up there, and it rolls right to the cup. Like I've seen it too many years.
Maybe it's not that easy, Randy.
Okay,
No,
Randy, that's
no,
fair.
I
thought it was
going
gonna
to
be a
tell me
tough-
it's extraordinary. I'm like, get out of here.
Well, it was a chance. It was like the last. No, well, not after the big
Randy-
right miss on 18. Jesus, guys, that was what a swing that one was. Holy Shartsky.
Neil, hold on, real quick before we get any farther. Hold on, before we get any farther. Did you have the fucking candy bar or not?
In the fridge, it's melted in my pocket. It's like fudge right now. So I put it in the fridge. We're gonna do it at the end. Now
right.
I went to three separate concession stands. All of them said they've been sold out since 11 a.m. Solly saw him in the bleachers on 14 randomly. Hands me a candy bar from a fan. Guy had it on ice for your boy.
The guy, literally a fan. He was either from Australia or New Zealand. I couldn't tell what he said. Had it on ice, handed it to me, and said it's for me to track Neil down. So we do have a candy bar.
We do have one. I don't know if it's any good. It's probably melted and we'll get it done though. We're gonna get it done.
Whoever that fan is, that's being an ambassador for the game.
That's
Right
big.
there.
That's big.
I want to say, all right, we got a couple of lines in the water here. Randy,
We do.
first of all, I stand with you on 16. There were 2 bogeys at 16 today. There are 2 bogeys.
Horrible golf hole
and that's
on-
Randy, that's
with that
fair, but
pin
it
position.
felt like oh man, could this go sideways back here? Everyone's thinking the Tiger spot, and then he has putter out. So I'm like, okay, it can't be that bad. I was sitting over to the right with the franchise and Uncle Ken over by the behind
Double
the,
click on that later.
Also,
yeah,
I was
I got
looking at
plenty of good
yesterday. There
stuff
were
from that.
4 bogeys today. I'm sorry.
It's such TC, such a good day, all-time day with Dad. It was fantastic. So from the presser, Rory was asked if he was going to approach things differently this year than last year. He really soaked it in last year. Is he going to do the same thing? He said absolutely not. He said, I got 2 weeks off, but I last year his quote was, I felt like the Grand Slam was the destination. I realized very quickly last summer that it was not, and I'm ready to keep going.
Hell yeah.
He's hungry, baby. I mean, it was like business-like stuff. At TC, he called Augusta his home course. Randy, that has to have you terrified. He's like, I feel like this place is my home course. I was like, what a flex that is. I mean, he's like, I feel like I know exactly where to miss here. I just feel really, really comfortable at Augusta National. That was like the quote of the year to me. So he just felt like he was thinking like, I am not done. I want to see how good I can be, was the sense that I got from him, that he's not going to be soaking it in like he did last year.
Gosh, that's
I
fantastic.
thought that was interesting.
What else stuck out from the presser?
He was thrilled to be in the conversation with, or I guess consider the best European golfer.
Yeah.
Called out Faldo, but feels like even from his reaction, he was like, yeah, I guess, I'm tied with Nick, but you kind of sense
I'm
like
gonna blow past
I feel
him.
like I'm, if we're being honest, guys, I feel like I'm better. It was kind of the sense there.
Wasn't Faldo was like trying to show him something? I don't know if you guys saw that on the
Oh,
broadcast.
dude, that was so awkward.
So awkward. It's like, dude, please, Sir Nick.
He had an awesome answer about the shot into 12. So the wind off the left, he recalled a practice round with Tom Watson from 2009. And Watson gave him the advice of what Watson did was wait till you feel like the wind is doing what it should be doing. So you and, your caddy talk about like, okay, it's off the left. And when you feel it doing what you think it should be doing, hit the ball immediately. And he's like, that's what I did. I just waited. And then I felt the wind off the left and I hit the ball. And he's like, he's like, I lost a little farther, went a little farther right than he wanted it to, but he bought himself some insurance. But I thought that was a fantastic
That
nugget.
is my shit right there. Like the forever nature of this tournament and all the millions and millions of things that you could pull on. Oh my God. Like, give me more. You got more than that?
No, he's called out a great range sesh last night. Just
found it.
Found it. I was like, that's exactly what I put in my notes. Found it. He was getting too inside. Hands were getting too far in, and the club's getting inside, and so he's just working on. He said he was getting too right, and he said that leads to the club being too far inside. And then what happens for me is I hook it. I miss left with the irons. And what did we see all day yesterday? Missing left.
Shout out to Jonathan Yarwood, I think it was on Twitter, had like a video on that about how like he has like scapular rotation with his right shoulder at the top, which leads him to drop the trail arm behind. And I was like, I don't know anything about the golf swing, but now I know what to look for.
I just don't even know what that feels like in a golf swing. I'm so over the top. I'm like, man, what would it feel like to be that under? Randy, tell me about that, brother.
I put ours together, Neil, because I don't know what it feels like to be over the top.
Yeah. All right, TC, this is for you, brother. I mean, I thought I started laughing when he said this. Third shot in the 15. Love the yardage. They wanted to get to around 100. He said he had 108, which he trying to hit 100 yards. Was the number they were looking for, which is a 3/4 lob wedge for him, is what he said. Oof. He said, though, on that downhill line with the wind coming down, it's the kind of wind that kind of almost knocks the ball out of the air. And I said, oh my God, are you serious? Like, is that on the bingo card? Unbelievable. It's the kind of wind that knocks it out of the air. I was like, that kind of
did knock it out of the air too.
And he said, yeah, he's like, it might have taken a little spin off. And so he was worried it was going to come back, but it didn't sound like good contact. I was right there for that shot. It sounded a little heavy.
It was, I thought it sounded clanky. I was up in the bleachers. It sounded like it was a loud contact. It was like, oh God, oh no, that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
Yeah, thin. Oh yeah.
And we were sweating that one. And everyone in the bleachers was kind of looked at each other and like a little grimace face of like, ooh, that was fortunate.
A couple more for you here. Somebody asked, what did he learn about life? Which I was like, sick. He said, just keep going. And he's like, I'm excited to keep going. Good things happen to those that wait, was part of that answer. And so I feel like he's hungry, guys. That was just a little bit more insurance. Randy, your guy Bamberger had a great one. I didn't get the exact question quote. It's actually better than the answer, but he's like, this game has such odd mysteries. Why are players so different from day to day? Like, what's it all about, Rory? And, he was like, I don't know, man. Like, I was in a good headspace all week. But he
like, give me that blunt back. I need that.
I don't know, Mike.
What are these
on the parking lot
mysteries?
at 2 a.m.
It was fantastic stuff from Bamberger. He said, he was like, in 13, he's like, I hit it like shit off the tee on 13 all day, but he was like, in the past, like last year, he played it as a 3-shotter. He stayed aggressive today. And he was like, he tried to stay with his game plan more than he did last year, was kind of what he said to that. But it wasn't really what Michael was asking. But it was, I thought you'd get a kick out of that, Randy.
I did. Thank you.
For as many momentous decisions as there are on the golf course, there's some big ones in the press room too. That champions press conference is a standing in 13 fairway. Rory, go for it. A lot of people think about John Adams, something he wrote in a moment like this. Yeah. And it's great. People let it rip. I love it.
Well, the best part, they got this, really nice high def screen behind them. And it's like the sun setting over Amen Corner or over 13. And it's like it looks like the sun, like you're squinting. It's right above him. I'm like, man, I can't. Is he up there? Your eyes have to adjust. Like even the sun inside at Augusta looks real.
Our eyes were watching God.
It's like the Truman Show.
It is, Deej. It kind of freaked me out. Gabby Herzig asked him to grade different parts of his game. Gave his driving a B-, which I thought was generous on a curve, maybe. Yeah. Irons, 3 or 4 days.
Drove great today.
Yeah, he felt like he other than yesterday, he gave himself a B with irons and then A+ on short game, A+ on putting. Called out the 17. He's like, I don't know what it is, but I hit those were both really difficult chips, especially today on 17. And I was standing right there.
Tough chip.
I'll tell you guys,
watching that one.
I think the green reading over the last 2 to 3 years, like the putts that he made, especially Thursday, Friday, Couple today too were just like some big benders that had a lot in them, and they were dead center. And he didn't other than the one on 4 today, he didn't really muck around too much with the shorties. Like he's marrying up pace and speed, and he's doing all that. Like he owns his green reading. Like I watched the whole day with Matty Kelly, and so he's telling me all sorts of, he's like, oh, that's that putt's really good there. That's going to be a difficult chip there and everything. And for Rory to just own it all and say, hey, and like, that's not a knock on Harry at all. That's a compliment to Rory of like, no, like, I don't want anything to muddy my first impression. And then watching him deduce some of those putts down the stretch, it was on his stick. It was impressive.
Can I real quick just run through, just how good his short game was and how integral this is to winning at Augusta. He was second in strokes gained around the green this week. Recent Masters champions, Rory McIlroy in 2025, 10th strokes gained around the green last year. 2024, Scotty Scheffler first. 2023, John Rahm sixth. 2022, Scotty Scheffler second. 2021, Hideki Matsuyama fourth. So you got to be in the top 10 around the greens, and Rory did it back-to-back years.
That'd be greasy out there.
There's so many moments where I just think about like Justin Rose. We didn't even really talk about this one, but the chip, we didn't talk about it maybe because it wasn't on TV, but the chip that came back to his feet on 3, he drove it in a great spot on 3. He looked like it was going to be his day. And then he just, he bones one miss, and it wasn't by much
chip too.
I know it wasn't by much. It's like a very narrow margin, obviously, but that's where the big blowups are, is around.
Which I think the other thing is with Rory, like we've been bitching, like Randy and I have been bitching about it all week, but I think adjustments were a big part of this week. Adjusting from the fast stuff on Thursday to a slower, softer golf course Friday onward. And then as the course livened up today through it all, and I felt like Rory's speed for the most part was awesome. Whereas you saw a lot of other guys like Cam Young left a few very, very short today. And Rory's speed was I felt like his speed was on point the whole week. And, some of that could be owing to the waves. Like he got the benefit of seeing those guys go out on Friday and then being able to, adjust to that. But the speed control was really good.
TC, one more from the press conference. Called out number 11 as someone asked stressful moments. He said the putt on second putt on 11 going in was a big relief, and he called out 11 being a new green. He said it's very different than last year, and he's like, Cam left his short. It's a lot slower this year than it has been in years past, and so that green specifically, he said all week has been kind of frustrating. Like everyone is thinking it's going to be a lot faster. They're very defensive on that green, and so when he made the putt, I didn't see that, but he made the putt on 11.
Even on 1, guys. Like both of them left their putts like well short on 1, and you're thinking, holy shit! Like this is, they were both downhill putts too, right in the jaws. You're like, whoa, those weren't even close.
Rory has been he's been seeking out a lot of course knowledge from other people. He's probably been making a lot of phone calls. AT&T believes in connecting people to greater possibilities. They do that through a network that keeps people meaningfully connected to those that matter most: friends, family, and more. So the moments that matter feel closer and clearer, because it's not just about being more connected, Randy. It's about being better connected to wherever life takes you. When the connection matters, it has to be AT&T. To find out more, head to att.com/connect to change. AT&T, connecting changes everything.
Did Spiel or Scoops try to connect with us at all? Courtesy of AT&T today?
That would have been a great segue, Neil, if we did.
You could call up. I had a couple that we left in the chamber from yesterday, but no, I didn't get to. The phone lines were long down at 13. So I didn't work the phones today. Or Spiel didn't. I didn't
also,
either.
You had a loved one out there, Neil. You didn't have to connect. You were connecting.
That's right.
In person.
Well, I called mom, but that was earlier in the day. I always call mom.
Any highlights from watching the Masters with your dear old dad?
Oh, it was fantastic. So he said meet at the range. This is the best. I told him to meet me at the range at 1:30, or sorry, 12:30. It's I don't know. I didn't have my watch on today, but probably 12:50. Here comes a franchise. Walking up the path to the range, like, hey, a little louder than everybody else. He had gone to the media center. So I see Paul from the PGA Tour, and about 45 minutes later, he's like, "Hey, they were calling your name in the media center." My dad had gone to the media center, and they'd been calling for me over the loudspeaker.
I was there.
Paul Hodowanik or Paul Hicks?
Paul Hodowanik. I was like, he's like, "Hey, they're looking for you in the media center." My dad was like, "Oh, that was probably me." I was like, "What? You went in the media? What? I told you to meet me at the range." He's like, "Well, you told me to go left." I was like, "No, I said go left at the range." Like, never mind. You know.
I was there. You were not there, and I was like, "I know exactly what this is." They're like, "Yeah, somebody's at the post there." So I went out there, and the lady's like, "Are you Neil Schuster?" And I was like, "No, but I that's why I'm here." And he's like, "Oh yeah, your guy left already." By the time I made it out there, your dad had already. They made him call your name in the media center, and then he was also
not what
there.
You want being called out in the media center. Yeah, it's just like
Sure.
trying to keep a low profile. We don't need that. Anyway, so that was good stuff. So we walked around a little bit. Guys, I had such a blast. I got a little stressed out. With all the action going on in the front, I didn't see any of it. We were just bouncing from chair to like. The best thing at Augusta is any empty chairs, you can just sit down. And then when the people come back, they're just like, "Hey, those are my seats." And everyone's like, "Oh, cool, I'll get up." And it's like we sat at Amen Corner for a little while, and then we sat in the trees at the turn on 13, right next to the CBS like camera crew, because they're running guys kind of work. I don't know if it's 30-minute shifts, but one guy will just be sitting in the chair, and they're getting word on like what's going on. So like they're kind of sharing what's happening, going around the course. And we had this spot in the trees in the shade because the franchise is 72, Uncle Ken's 78. These hills will get them, Randy. So we popped a squat back there in those trees
out there than you'd think from TV.
And
we franchise have his walking sticks with him.
I was gonna say
he didn't.
I feel like this is a Larry David situation where the franchise is what set CBS back today. He was distracting the CBS cameraman.
He did something. He kept asking him questions. Hey, who's that over there?
No, it was fantastic. And we were just watching guys come through there. Most guys were going for it. And then like Russ laid up, Morikawa laid up. Then we saw Hao Tong Li, watched that whole thing unfold. Mm-hmm. Stephen Cox is holding court, giving him the proper rulings. I mean, that was, God, Scottie deserves a lot of credit for, he got iced there for like 20 minutes. That was unbelievable.
It was our Yeti coldest moment. Good choice.
Good put him on ice, man. So that was fun. Now, I think the highlight of the day is just like watching golf with a couple old guys. They're kind of passing the binos back and forth. We're
bringing binos next year, by the way.
We need to.
Yeah, that's the play.
And my dad, he's just like got the binoculars on the scoreboard. But everybody, like we were sitting by the time this was when we were in 14 in the grandstands, we had moved over. And like pretty much everybody else in the grandstands is like close enough to see it with their own eyes. And my dad's just like narrating the scoreboard to like, and it's like, everybody can read it, Dad. Like, Rose is back to 11. He's like yelling, and I'm like, no, Dad, like everybody can read it. Like it's like we don't need that. We don't need the binoculars there.
Did you think about ejecting at any point from the franchise, or was it like you were pot committed to the franchise?
No, I had a blast because they were asking about golfers, like who's this guy coming up, and
Neil was teaching about the rules and everything.
Yeah, no, I was right about that ruling on 13. I was like, because people were saying, no, he's in the penalty area. I was like, no, he's not. There's a red line on the left side there. That ball's in play, people. Like he can't pick that up. He's got limited options here. That was a fit.
Who was the franchise rooting for?
I think. He did, he's kind of just rooting for a close ball game. He was hoping for a playoff because he didn't want to walk up the hill on 18.
Jeff Maggart.
He wanted to stay down by the tee. He was hoping they would come back to the tee and he'd have like a primo spot. And so when Rory hit that drive way right, I was like, I don't know, maybe hang out here but I was like, I don't think he's making triple here. That would be. There's a lot of room. He hit it so far right that he had this like glorious window. It wasn't that hard of a shot over there, but. So they put their chairs down on 16. TC, you'll love this. We get over there, can't find the chairs. So, we're just kind of like, you get the writing that everyone's got their names on, but they're so small. So just like kind of
binoculars out.
Yeah, getting in front of people. I'm like, Dad, all right, we took like 10 minutes to find these chairs. So we find them. I leave them there. I'm like, great. I go back up the hill. Saw the best shot of like maybe the year Scotty through the trees on 15. Oh my God. I was standing like 3 feet away. The convo with Ted on that one, that was unbelievable. And then it looked like he paid off that putt. Did he make birdie there?
Yeah, he did.
That was the best shot I saw all week for sure. That was awesome. So I come back, and when Rory was behind the green, he's got the binoculars on Rory, and it's dead silent. And that's the best part about that place. It's like all these people, it's an arena, but all you can hear is like the birds and the drone, like way up. And my dad's like, oh yeah, I think he's looking for the peak of the hill there. Oh yeah. Oh man, this could be tough. I'm dad. Shh. Oh, because he's like, doesn't realize like he's got the, he's zoomed in. He's like
he's got headphones
yeah,
on.
Exactly. He's like in his own world. He's like, oh man, this could be a tough. Sorry.
It's like VR glasses.
Yes, it's like he's in the metaverse. It's unbelievable. It was cracking me up, man.
Oh God!
Every time he put the binoculars to his eyes, his voice would go up like 3 levels. Like, oh, Rose dropped his drone. It was, but no, I mean, it's just moral of the story. It's like every generation thinks the Masters is awesome, and it was so like. It was an awesome day. I just kind of was like, you know what? I'm just going to sit here on 13 and enjoy it. And I kind of let go of like the stress, like, oh, I got to go cover it. And then I picked up Rory on 15 and followed him all the way in. And it was fantastic. And I'm playing tomorrow. My TC Uncle Pete was like, man, Gene Kunk would be telling everybody in Springfield, Ohio, our grandpa, like, my son's playing Augusta tomorrow. Like from 3 generations, everybody fucking loves the Masters. So if we talk about, the content, they're doing too much with the par 3, get Kevin Hart out of here. Once the tournament starts, man, once you're like on the grass itself, they do not fuck around. They don't change anything.
Do not miss.
They don't miss. It's like, my dad was like, yeah, it's really, other than some of the buildings, he's like, I don't remember these permanent concession places, like some of the build out stuff, like on the property, but he's like, it feels very similar to when Bernhard Langer won in 1985, when my dad was there for 4 days. And so I was like, what do you remember about that? He's like, honestly, like everything looks pretty similar. Like it's pretty much like this. It's awesome. It's just like in that way, it's like it's magical because it today, last year felt like a thriller, like it felt like Memento, like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? Like, and then this year felt a little bit more like I don't know, just a fun Judd Apatow movie. It was just leisurely out there, Deej. It was, there weren't a lot of roars. Scotty got a roar in 15 and I think 16. And that was about
he made his birdie on 16.
That was about it, man. There were not really many back 9 roars, and I was okay with that. It was just like, this is second nine, excuse me. But it was pretty low key out there, which was different.
What did Uncle Ken think?
Oh my God.
Ken, for those, I mean, he's what, 70,
78,
he's late 70s, never been to the Masters before.
Massive sports fan.
Yeah. Huge sports fan, just an enthusiast. What were his takeaways?
He was like, man, this is like, he thought like Amen Corner looks like a painting. Like I said, Ken, I said the same thing, man. He's like, it just looks exactly like you expect it to look. And I think the experience is almost that way too. It's like, it's everything. It lives up to the expectations, and there might not be much out there in the world today that does live up to expectations. I felt like that was his takeaway. And he was just like, Morikawa, that guy won the Harding Park. He lived out in San Francisco for years. So he was just like loving, he loved it. It was great.
That's awesome. Neil, also, the franchise should have, we had a comment here. The franchise should have taken to the phone lines and called in.
Oh, he should have. That's a miss.
Well, again, the line was long. That would have been a whole process, TC. Like, let me do what?
Hey,
what should
Steve.
I say?
Okay. Hey, Sally. Steve.
I do want to circle back just for a second because you mentioned some of the par 3 stuff. You mentioned some of that. I think it's worth, we kind of mentioned circling back to this on Sunday. This is the first year I think I've ever heard any kind of widespread commentary or widespread discourse, a little bit of like, what are we doing? What is going on here at scale? And I think some of that was from non-golf. It was certainly from golf people. It was from non-golf people. Like you said, I think it dropped off once the tournament starts. But I did want to at least have a conversation about some of that stuff. And we're talking about like the merch industrial complex, the merch hall videos, the hour-long merch lines, the like things like that. And then of course, ESPN trotting out Jason Kelsey and The Miz and, the social media saturation that you kind of mentioned. I'm just curious, I guess, open forum. How much of that stuff matters? How much of that stuff translates to what's on the ground? How much of that is a monitoring this situation? Because I think people feel a ton of ownership and a ton of, I don't want to, stewardship is way too serious of a word, but a ton of they care a lot about the Masters, and they will really want the Masters to be the Masters. And I think as soon as it starts to wobble a little bit, I think people are kind of just a little bit like, oh God, are we going to lose this too? And this was the first year that I've seen any of that. And I'm curious if any of that resonated with you guys. TC, I'll start with you. What were your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Masters, Neil, like you said, I mean, our parents went to it, like they were lucky enough to go to it back in the early and mid 80s. And like, I think my dad's boss at the time, like his family's from Augusta, and they're just like, yeah, you want these 4 badges for the week? And like, and you know, like I was born the week that Nick, like, you know, 40 years ago this week. And I feel like I went for the first time 29 years ago in 1997. And I've probably been to 18 to 20 tournament rounds, and I've been to a bunch of practice rounds. And so I do, like, I feel like the Masters is an institution. It is immalleable. It like it exists in a certain place in my memory. And then when it doesn't exist like that in real life, there's just obvious dissonance there. And I feel like, I think we're in monitoring stage, but the more that I hear from a wide swath of people, and listening to the Bag Drop podcast this week, the new club guys like Matt Considine and Kevin Moore, who are like 2 of the most thoughtful guys in the world of golf, in my opinion, like just serious adults who aren't trying to create a stir. Like they're just like almost concerned citizens. And I think that some of the stuff that they said of just the commercial element, maybe taking more of a front seat, or things just feeling a little bit out of balance, I think it's something to watch for. And like I talked to people who were there in the clubhouse or at Berkman's, and the word that keeps coming up is Disney. And it sounds like they brought in somebody from Disney to manage the lines heading into the merch operation. So they kind of hide it to where you don't see the lines for the first half hour or so. And hearing stories about like Nicholas Player Watson hitting the first tee shot and it being half empty out there because people are in line to get their gnome, that to me is just kind of fucked up and against the spirit of like what this thing's supposed to be about.
That's not their fault though, in a lot of ways.
The gnomes might be their fault.
Yeah, I would say that. I don't,
because and I totally get that. Like when you're on site, like I haven't been in it in 3 or 4 years, but when you're on site, it feels immaculate, and but it's just the little corners where if you're paying attention, you're like, oh, that's
right. Like
that's
Berkman's
different.
feels like Disney World, and the merch thing is, it's a zoo, but the lines move. They have a sign that says how long it is. Like they're not trying to fool anybody, is what I would like. I don't think there's like ill intent there. It's more like there's just a lot of people that want to get the merch.
Well, some of it feels like misplaced priorities, I guess, a little bit too, that are a little bit out of balance with what the original intent of this tournament was supposed to be about. Like Masters dog bowls and stuff like that. I'm like, what are we doing, guys?
What's going on? What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Well, the now driving hat, like all the big letter hats stink.
None of that matters to me nearly as much as the reports we got from you guys on struggles of the broadcast and increased commercialization of the broadcast.
Yeah.
That is where I will throw a massive, like it is literally Clifford Roberts like inventing golf on television in terms of like, dude, there will be limited commercial interruption, like to the point where I've got it saved in my phone somewhere.
Joe
Like
Ford
his quote. Yeah. Like you do not, we're not going to over commercialize the broadcast. And that is, if that's what's happening, we have not got to watch the broadcast. That's canary in the coal mine stuff with that. I will like, it is the takeaway we've had from being here and, in person is similar to a lot of people, but the we've called it the last civilized place on earth. Like there's nothing else in life that is so commercialized, but at the same time, they're not working. It never feels like they're trying to separate you from your money. Like everything that they're doing, all the money they make off this tournament just gets invested into like making it 1% better the next time.
It goes
around.
into
Like,
the tunnels under the course.
Yeah, like it goes into extra bathroom stalls. It goes into blah blah. Like it truly does feel like there is Like a lot of people that work for the tournament are doing everything in their power to make the tournament as best as it possibly can for anyone that ever attends it. Again, it's remarkable. That part is remarkable. And that part is like, I don't think I could go to the Super Bowl and feel that way. I don't think I could go to the NBA playoffs and feel that way, or the World Series. Like, I don't know what a sporting event that has that feeling of just trying to make it better every single year in some way. And there is some, like, I've done a decent job of blocking out a lot of the stuff that just does not appeal to me at all. But I just find it super interesting that it's like a 75-year-old woman that doesn't love golf would absolutely love going to the Masters. And I love going because it is like the best golf course. Not only is it pretty, not only is it like amazingly pretty, but it's also like the best golf course. And also has all these awesome traditions.
Yeah, I don't want to like make it sound like it's lost its luster or the magic isn't there anymore. But all I'm saying is like, I think it is all of those things. And I have a lifetime relationship with it. And I care fucking deeply about this tournament. And it's like, there's just not that many institutions. Like the world seemingly keeps getting more cluttered and less tasteful and less tactful. And it's a bastion of those things. And I think that Wimbledon, the Masters, and I'm not even sure what else rises to that station. And so when you see it, I think there's just concerning things of like, it feels more like the Kentucky Derby than the Masters in the lead up to it. It just sets off some alarm bells for sure.
I think that's exactly how I feel. There's a little bit of me that is going to go back on what a much younger version of me said quite forcefully over and over, which is just stop being fucking old and lame and just open up this and do more of that. And this was the first year that I was just like, oh, I could use a little more like restraint. I thought that used to be what got me really, really excited to watch the first moment of the telecast at 3 p.m. on ESPN or, wherever. And this is the first year that I'm just like,
that's where it's like Nance is explaining to us that which portions are on Paramount Plus today and all of that. And it's like, that feels like the world summed up a little bit in a nutshell, right?
That's where I'm like, I'm totally with you that I'm like, what we're talking about, the stakes could not be low. We're talking about a golf tournament. I get it. It's very, very, very low stakes here. But I am a little like, man, I don't know how you keep what made this thing so perfect and special for so long in a very modern world that's changed a ton. And it's like every time I open my phone, there is some overly serious, overly syrupy montage of the scissors on the edge of the cup and an overhead shot of the umbrella. I'm like, oh my God, I've seen this fucking 500 times. This used to be like when I see the first one, oh my God, it's spring and everything has changed. Now I'm just, you can't stop getting just like inundated with it, which is not all their fault. And that's kind of what I'm building towards is like, man, they're in a weird spot where they have to try to bring more people in, and they also have to try to keep the scarcity and keep the magic. And that's just really hard to do. And I'm curious how that goes over the next couple of years.
Like is more good, right? Like it was like it hits different. Like Solly Deeds, you said it earlier this week. Like it hits different when it's 3 o'clock and you haven't seen anything yet versus when you've been watching since noon or you've watching the range since 10 a.m. or whatever.
Quad pod.
Yeah.
And I think there's good, like, I think that the quality of that stuff outweighs some of the clutter, but Deej, to your point, I think that some of it is on us to just almost drown out some of the Masters industrial complex a little bit, because if you really hone in on what they're putting out, the Instagram, like if there's Instagram awards, they should win them. Like they're the highlight packages that they put up one of Rory that we talked about last night, or one of Cam that we talked about, or that we haven't talked about, but they put up overnight, from his third round, that are like the most artful stuff I've seen on the internet ever, right? Or the stories are unbelievable. Like everything is very intentional. It's just, there's so much clutter around it, I guess. And I think they've made all the right decisions with regard to cell phones and all of that. Like they've drawn the right lines on that stuff. It just feels like, man, we got to put Christ back in Christmas a little bit. We got to put
Mass back in the
Masters a little bit.
I just want to assure you, TC.
And Neil, real quick too. I think that the thing that bugged me this week about it a little bit was it felt like maybe the marketing or the theme of the Masters overruled nature and the golf course a little bit. And I think that's what bugged Randy and I about this setup a little bit of like, we were presented this unique confluence of events this year, and guys prepped for that circumstance. And then what was on the ground and what we were given, regardless of the reasons for it, were different from that. So I think that's just where I'm at with that.
Randy, give me the last word.
No, we can move on. I think it's good. We don't need to relitigate it. I was hoping for a winner that was, maybe 7 under par, 8 under par, and it wasn't quite that tournament, but it was still, on the scale of the Masters tournaments, it was a good tournament.
Yeah.
They soured your vintage, man. Sorry.
It did sour my vintage a little, but that's okay.
Neil, what were you going to say? Like, what
I was going to say
is, because I want to hear it.
The commercialization of Augusta, Georgia is outrageous. I mean, so I went to an acoustic Dave Grohl concert at a house. Like, it was probably a $10 million party. You know what I mean? It's absurd. The Delta took over the airport. It's an activation. But once we can't have our phones on us. So like all the content, like I would feel exactly as you guys feel if I was at home and it was just getting inundated with all of this par 3 stuff and all that. But I will give them credit. And it's almost to a fault. And I think ties in with your criticism. I think the Green Jackets care deeply about the on-site, on-grass experience.
Yeah.
And they want birdies. And they don't want, Randy, I don't know if they want your vintage, right? But I think they set things up for the on-site experience, and that may be at a detriment to sometimes the TV experience or like the tournament that you guys want to watch. But I feel like once you get on merch is on the pavement, Berkman's is on the pavement. On the outside of the grass, it is a sweepstakes. You're right. There is a lot we could talk about over commercialization, but I'll just say on the grass, it really feels like it's protected, and that's just was my experience this week and last year.
It's hard on the way the golf course plays, and that like today was firmer undoubtedly than yesterday was, and yesterday was a way more fun day. Like it was way more exciting. Like that's where I'm like, I think a little bit of softness in this golf course is not the worst thing in the world. If wind, like natural wind, comes up and creates some really challenging playing conditions, that's also interesting. But also the opportunity to go on runs and feeling like stuff's going on all over the golf course. Like today was a little bit muted, and I honestly think if it was softer today, it would have been more fun. Like that's not a shot at Rory or the final result or anything like that. It's just
and Solid, to your point from earlier, like it's not a Mackenzie golf course anymore either. Like it's Disney. It's kind of Disney World, and like if we're gonna lean into I think it all just feels a little bit artificial at this point, but it's fucking awesome.
Artificial, but very real in the way that it is. Like it is the name of the tournament. I felt like I watched masters of their craft play this golf course this week, and the knowledge it takes, the experience it takes, the consequence of the shots. And like, I know there were a lot of birdies, especially on Saturday, but again, if you watch the golf in person, and like there was a lot of not birdies happening out there too, and a lot of uncertainty around everything that was happening. And it was multiple steps above like anything mediocre we see in other major championship setups, like multiple. And it was, I don't know, man. I just think that it's always, I like the fact that it's a golf course that like a Rose and a Reed can compete on and show their creativity, show their knowledge off, hit, somebody like Rory that can use their power element to their advantage in so many different spots. It's just a remarkable blending of a test of skills, of artistry, of uneven lies, different spins, controlling your trajectory, controlling your spin, controlling your pace on putts, reading putts, hitting putts outside the hole, different kinds of chips. It is anything but repetitive golf. And I have just getting even more appreciation for this place, having walked it the last 3 years.
And Solly, I agree with all that. I guess my stance is that the creativity was just a little bit neutered with how soft or how slow some of the slopes were around the greens. And I think that some of that may just be a matter of like trying to keep the grass alive. Yeah. Right. And I think my impression of the Masters is maybe like, you're like, all right, the Masters are on the course. And I think my impression of the of the tournament this year a little bit was like, no, the Masters are the ones pulling the puppet strings a little bit and that sort of thing.
Sully, I think you said something interesting that it's not repetitive. And I totally agree. It's not repetitive to the 51 other weeks of the year that we see. I guess where I'm getting a little, if you look at the last, really since Tiger won, I mean, the winning scores here are now 10 to 13 under par. It's like pencil in 10 to 12 under par being the winning score. I just am a little afraid it's a little repetitive unto itself. And I would like to get back to where it's like, holy shit, Zach Johnson won the Masters at 1 over par. And, Phil wins it at 7 under. And then one year, somebody goes to 16 under. Like I don't sense we have a big variability in how they want to set up or let the course play. And so it's a little repetitive, in my opinion, unto itself each year.
I would point, Randy, to 2024 when Scotty won. Like, there was 2 players that were lower than -4 that week. It was Scotty was -11, Lovely was -7. The wind blew, and it was like, yes, the scores went in a totally different direction. I feel differently about this place than I did in like the mid-20, like around 2015-ish. Like when the year that Spieth went nuts and wanted it, like set the scoring record or whatever he ended up winning at. Like second place was shared at 14 under and Spieth was 18 under. It felt like Augusta felt too easy. Like it felt too much like a turkey shoot. And it felt like it felt weak. It just felt like it needed to add some strength. And like, I don't love all the lengthening of the holes, but I feel like it's got its strength back with the lengthening of 15, lengthening of 13, lengthening of 5 since then. Like a lot of length has been added to this golf course to add a little bit of punch back and have it feel like there's it's not, Hatton's running off 5 birdies in a row. Although that doesn't matter because blah, blah, blah. Cantlay's, getting back into contention, making a ton of birdies. It feels like there's punch in this golf course through length and through stuff that's maybe not necessary if they would have actually controlled technology. But it feels like there's a solid, none of that felt easy to me, honestly, watching this entire week. It really, really did not. And I never felt like mediocre shots were ending up in good spots or that mediocre shots were ending up in a spot where par was still a very easy score that you didn't have to overcome anything to get there. It felt like if you hit a mediocre shot, you needed to hit a really solid shot to recover in some way or make a putt. And that's the kind of golf that I find interesting. I think when it goes bad on other major setups or on the PGA Tour, it's like a pretty good shot and a mediocre shot kind of just end up in this 30-ish foot, to 40-foot putting range, and you're probably going to 2-putt it because the greens aren't that interesting, and it just never feels that way at Augusta.
Solly, what have been your thoughts on 13 since they've lengthened that, and what were your thoughts watching it this week?
So this is what, the 4th year since they moved the tee back. 2023, I believe, was the first year. I feel like it needed to be done in some way, and I feel like it has been a lot less interesting of a golf hole. I part of me is wondering out loud if they moved the tee back too far. And a problem what we've seen with Augusta when they do put in new tees, they make a new, like there's no stretching option, right? If they've had some years since they moved that tee back where the wind has been in on 13 and 15 and nobody can get there and it ends up kind of dull, right? And I think Phil had some pretty dramatic comments about it on he took to the Everything app and had some feedback on that one.
Your boy, Randy.
And I think there's something to that. Tee shot was too easy for those guys at the 5-10 yardage. Guys are hitting 3-woods, can hit 3-wood 8-iron into it, and that the momentous decision doesn't exist. I have to look at like a shot chart of where everybody's ending up off the tee, but I feel like right now we have this, you had this strip the guys were hitting it into when you could hit it around the corner, and you have a strip now. And I feel like I kind of want it in the middle of those two. Like I kind of want, Rory still look like he seems like he has to think about the corner a little bit, but not many guys have to think about the corner. Like part of the deal was, hey, am I going to risk getting around this corner a little bit? Am I going to risk playing to this corner? Because if not, the ball's going to be above my feet. And now it just feels like it's hit it straight and we're going to deal with the rest there. And if the wind is any hurting at all, I'm probably going to end up laying up. And the momentous decision isn't like, it's not really looming the same way that I feel like it used to the point where when I've been out there the last several days, I've not been incentivized to want to watch the golf on 13. I do feel incentivized to want to watch 15. Like that's where it seems like there's just a lot of stuff going on in terms of like this, anything could happen when they get to 15. And 13 feels a little formulaic to me right now. And like, unless it's perfect, I don't need to go for it. And I don't know, that's just kind of, it's not presenting the same drama that I feel like it maybe should. And I'm curious your guys' reaction to that as well.
I think more people are going for it than it seems. And I feel like my eyes do perk up, and this almost is like a Rorschach test for a little bit of the setup stuff we were talking about. Like, do you want to see birdies and eagles, or do you want to see shot values? And I got a big kick out of today. Justin Rose gets to the 13th tee. He has to rope a draw to max out what he can do. He does it. He gets down to the flat spot.
What a shot.
And he sets himself up. He had like 213 yards or something like that.
Such a sick 3-putt.
Sets himself up for just the shot of the tournament, right? Like if he was going to win the tournament, that's the shot he needed to pull off, and he did it, and he gave himself a chance.
And he gave it a run on that putt.
He definitely gave it a run. And the next one, Scotty gets to that tee. Scotty obviously has a very hard time drawing the driver, which is the shot that you need to hit. He's fighting it. He's doing all the body motions. He's flipping. He's doing everything to try to get that ball going right to left. It still doesn't do it. And it kind of, I'm guessing based on where it ended up, because it only went like 285 or something like that. It probably was that one that kind of hung out, floated, and then instead of bouncing forward and left down the hill, I think it just hit at the top of the hill and took a straight left turn. So he didn't get enough distance.
Exactly what happened.
And he's blocked out, and he can't get there, and he doesn't make birdie, and he loses the tournament by 1.
He probably could have gotten there.
He had 239 in, and he in the
it's
fairway.
Also like the firmest,
that's where I'm just,
like one of the firmest greens on the golf course.
Yeah.
Right. But that's what I'm kind of trying to say is like, well, that shot value to me, right? If he didn't hit the shot off the tee, he can't get there, and he loses the tournament by 1. I'm like, I think that's mission accomplished.
It's
right?
not that the shot value is gone. It just feels a little out of balance to me. Just a little bit. And
did they split the difference? Just move the
That's
tee.
kind of what I'm at. Is like I feel like
put it in the middle.
A 535. What is it? 545 now. I feel like 535 might be interesting. And part of the problem with this equation is like the fact that when Faldo had that shot in 1996 and he had 225, a 225 shot was very different then than it is now. Like that's the problem with technology. Is like the scale of golf is out of like.
Need to grow into this tee. Just give it a couple years. We're gonna be good.
Rory hit 7 iron from 225 into 15. Like it's a totally different scale of the game. That's part of the problem. And like if you just go back farther, the slopes are different there, and the shot shapes are different, and it just doesn't seem to create the same level of excitement. Like
Solly, what's the is the angle right? Like, can they do anything with the angle of even like, split the difference between the two and then push it a little bit farther to the left where guys have to hit more of a draw, or else it's really pointing you into the woods?
I almost think like even a little farther right creates a little bit more of that temptation. A problem with this though,
it brings the creek more in.
Yeah, they've lost so many of the trees that like I think if you move it up too far, you could end up with a
high fades over it.
A Bubba situation is a way easier now than it once was. Like truly, so. So I don't know.
I will say I sat there today for 90 minutes right on the corner. Most guys were going. Morikawa laid up. Russ Henley laid up. Those were the two that were in position where I was like, okay, Morikawa was way back. And then Scotty was the last one I saw, and then I moved on. So DJ, to your point, most guys were going, but they were all bailing out to the left. Justin Rose was the only guy that really took on that flag. I mean, that was a really, really good shot, and he was waiting for a while before he hit that one because of the Hao Tong Li, the year the horse was going on up there. That was maybe something.
A Barbaro situation right there.
I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but Data Golf did post this going back to 2021. It was 2023 that they lengthened it. So going back to 2021, the go for it rate was like 72% back in 21, and then it's just a straight stair step down from there. It was like 62% in 2022. Then they lengthened it. It went down to about 54%. Last year it was just under 50%. This year for round 1 it was 62%. For round 2 it was 49%. So
that's closer than what I think would make sense than it has in my head in terms of it being. Yeah, there was a little helping wind today from what I could tell.
But to your point,
it does feel like also
it was gusty. It was very gusty.
Yeah.
15 also feels like it's gotten more difficult as well.
Yeah.
And so I feel like those two holes are a little bit out of balance as they are as well. Of like, all right, then like not only are less guys going for it, but the guys that are going for it, the shot's probably harder into 13 than it used to be, and into 15, it feels like that thing is much more knife's edge,
as hard as it's ever been.
And like 15 fucking rules now. Like I'm way in on 15.
Like
even the third shot on 15,
it is awesome.
Is sick. And like the guys that were going long are like, you know, guys going in the water long on 15 this week. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, sign me up for that. That like the shot that was that Cam Young that hit the one long, or Scotty? Like
Scotty hit one over.
Yeah, but like somebody
hit one just over today.
Like that might be the hardest shot in all of golf to like get up and down from long of 15. And so I feel like, all right, if 15 is going to be diabolically hard, then like maybe 13 should be more of a 6-iron, you know?
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't seem far off. It just seems like just a little.
It's like the margins.
12
yards.
Yeah, and again, I'm more mad about technology than I am what they did to the hole, because.
But like Randy, does Mickelson, like, let's say Mickelson hits the same shot? What was that? What was the year that he hit the one from the pine straw
10,
up there?
2010.
If he's 20 yards farther back, is he hitting that shot from the pine straw? Knowing Phil, probably yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say who knows, but yeah, it's. I'm really curious if Scotty regrets the layup today, and whether he was just spooked from earlier in the week, or what went into that decision. Just that's kind of what I've been thinking about as you guys have been having this discussion.
I was surprised by it in the moment, Randy. I was sitting next to some other patrons, and it was like, oh, he's going for it.
I see,
but he didn't.
Despite what I was saying, I love this part, right? Where it's like 239. It was probably right at 7 wood, but did he want to hit the 7 wood from the ball above his feet? The kind of thing is like, okay, well, that's interesting. Like that's what I want. I want to be in that area of like, should we be there? So maybe it's closer to actually be in the area that I'm picturing. But again, just the times that I spent on that hole this week was just not the most exciting times, I thought.
Yeah. Going down the leaderboard just a little bit, I feel like we've talked about a lot of these guys. Russ Henley, we didn't really talk a ton about. 68, he looked like a very, very real
dude
contender there for a minute.
Thank you, Randy. That's nice to hear.
He shot into 11 today. I was like, man, that was big boy shit. he's hitting lumber. He's hitting he's got 210 into some of these holes that other guys are hitting 9-iron into. Like, Neil, did you see Russ Henley's name on the board at some point?
Did you say 11 or 10? That was 10. He had 222 into 10.
Oh.
And he just hit
guys calling it out in the binoculars. Russ Henley's to 10.
Yeah. It hit this just bullet into like it was such an awesome. He's such a golfer, such a capital G golfer. I mean, it was great. It looked like he had one hand tied behind his back playing against
may have been
Rory
born 50 years too late, honestly.
100%.
Average 285 off the tee today.
It's great. Tyrrell Hatton, we didn't really talk about. 66 today. I was just for a hair. I was a little nervous that I said we had gotten rid of him yesterday. But great
Stay
round.
The course, Deej. You were right. The tournament was over Friday. You were right. Stay the course.
Round 2 and round 4, 66 with a 72 in the middle might be a Tyrrell Hatton.
That's a good pick.
Instead of a Mackenzie Hughes.
Burns and Lowry just free diving the leaderboard all day. Randy must have been chuffed.
Yeah, Shane Lowry, the unlucky 80 today. Randy, I know you were bummed to see that.
Did we get a question? I wrote in my notes. Did we get a Fook this place on 16? Because I saw him in the drop zone.
Don't know. It was not getting a lot of coverage after he hit the lip on 5. He hit it in the fairway bunker at 5 and then hit the lip, went way out. It was pretty tough.
That was right in the midst of the whole CBS catastrophe too. Like they had to go back to, they had to do a whole highlight package of what happened to Burns like 25 minutes later because I think they caught so much flack for missing it in the moment. Yeah, Lowry's 70, 69, 68, 80. That rules. That's what I'm about.
That's what we're talking about. That's major championship golf. Yeah. You mentioned Sam Burns ended up shooting 73. Looked like he might be a problem there on the first hole. Comes out and birdies the first, right? And
Never do that.
that's right. TC and I were, I don't know. I think we're just quietly kind of like, yeah, Sam Burns going to win this. Like Sam Burns is really, really, really good. And then just runs into a hornet's nest on the second.
Did he hit it in the Delta counter?
No, he hit it right.
Okay.
Hit it right, and then I think he had to take a drop. Like TC said, this was during the media blackout. I believe he had to take a drop, then punched out, then complete Icarito over the green. Doesn't get it up and down. Leads to a double. Drives it in the fairway bunker, if I'm remembering right, on 3. Doesn't get it out of the bunker. Just a tough start for.
Sorry,
are you guys watching now? Yeah, it wasn't good.
That was like 5 rows
Also,
deep.
guys,
But fought back.
Is one like I used to remember guys going in that bunker on 1. It was like cool. Like you're making bogey.
Never to
today.
be seen again.
Yeah,
right? I know.
And now it feels like 1 is a fucking pushover.
They at some point, I have it in my book somewhere. They moved 1 up 10 yards for patron flow purposes, I believe. So it's only 445 now, which like in terms of modern length golf holes, that's a driver wedge for these guys.
Which Rory hit 3-wood, which was very strange. To me, just hit it perfectly even with that fairway bunker. I was like, seems like you could just hit driver over, but that was interesting. Morikawa, gritty 68. Didn't know what we were going to get from your guy this week, Randy. He's talking about mental scar tissue. He's talking about not being able to pull the trigger. That's good stuff. 68 on the weekend.
Yeah, completely uncompetitive. Top 10, stolen valor, wiki yellow.
5 birdies in a row.
Yeah, that's
Birdie
right.
12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, all while wearing that ugly
shirt.
And I'll say we saw him warming up this morning, and it looked like he was swinging about 80% on the range. Like the dude was fighting it, man. Like that's a really impressive finish for somebody that was clearly not at 100%. From one fellow back injury guy to another, I salute you, Colin Morikawa.
That brings us to T9. We probably should have led the show with this. Our guy Max Homa is going back to the Masters.
Hell yeah.
Max with what did he shoot today? 67. Eagle on 13. The swing is looking good. We're bogey free on Sunday. Just things you love to see. I don't have a whole hell of a lot more to add other than we love Max going back to the Masters. Seems like he needed a get right result. It was not. I know he's
finding safe harbor for next year. That's fun, man.
Which is such a
the preview. I said top 12 or bust. It's coming for Max this week. I thank you guys for that.
Irons look really good.
Also, just the mark of a great man is Randy. You said this earlier. The great men play the holes as they're intended. The great men also find it at Augusta. That's what Max has done the last couple of years. Bad results coming in and just like, oh, let me go to the most technical golf course in the world and I'll figure it out there.
What a shot!
I think sometimes you just need, you got to flip your brain a little bit. I mean, this is where all the flowers to Augusta, but it brings out it forces a creativity and an artistry that we just don't get to see that often.
It detaches you from having to hit your driver on a string.
Yeah.
I mean, watching Max on Friday, he was hitting his second, or I think maybe it was his third shot it was his second shot into 15, and he's just staring it up and down, and then he hits another seed in 16. I was like, all right, you know what? Max looks back. His confidence is back. He's got that spring in his step again. So
yeah,
more to come. Quail Hollow, here we come.
Xander Schauffele rounds out the top 10, 68 today, 8 under. Very just solid week. That's kind of a when we get to the
he rocked them.
When we get to the PGA, this is a bit of a don't forget Xander. This is a note to self. Xander's playing really good golf. Xander's not hurt anymore. Just remember this when we get to the Mink, TC. This is important.
We go back to black and white from.
I thought Xander had a real chance this week. His kind of 11 through 13 on Friday. I'm totally with you, Deej. He's playing good golf. He's gonna win a big tournament.
Jake Knapp 11th. Things again, kind of just things you love to see. I think that was one of on paper. This seems like a guy that should really play well here, and you just love when the
It's an
paper
awesome
guys
year.
do that. You know, he's playing fucking awesome golf, which of course brings us to T12. Jordan
T12,
Spieth,
what a
is he
group.
back? Did he run out of holes? No, Spieth ball struck it well enough to be, definitely not well enough to win, but well enough to be in contention and just completely.
Another
Honest-
checkpoint on the road back. Dude.
Yeah,
Honest question.
Yeah,
The chip in for Eagle on 13, is that the most emotion Spieth has showed?
Right?
in, since when?
totally agree. Since like that Travelers hole out a million years ago or something. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like he was fist pumping. He was feeling
Yeah.
it. I thought the
There's
same
been a
thing.
lot of you guys should or just everybody should quit speed dialogue. Like it felt kind of like late 90s, early 2000s anti-tobacco or tobacco having like lung cancer.
You need to put a warning label on that. It's addictive, TC.
Like
If
There
I
was
need
no
to-
joy though. When I was watching, it's just no joy on Friday.
yeah, I mean, he didn't play good. That's if I had to
Sure.
clarify my position on that, TC, it's just like I don't think he's not playing great golf. I thought he was playing good enough to at least have a magical run this week, and I wasn't that far off from that. So I'm not like, oh my god, when we get to Harbor Town, he's definitely going to boat race everybody. I was like, no, he's not. He's not
He's
there
close,
yet.
though. He's very close.
Maybe he will. That would be great.
he doesn't
Would-
at Harbor
would love
Town. Like
that.
I think I'm jumping ship if he doesn't win next week. It's kind of like where
Okay.
I'm at.
Oh, well, I thought Max might win Harbor Town.
I think Harvard.
Deej, I don't know how you could watch that this week, what we've seen out of Rory, what we've seen out of Scotty, and not feel defeated. I'm like, dude, I don't know how you're beating those guys
Sure.
on this. Like this ain't Augusta National, the one that he dominated. This is a different golf course. It's a longer golf course, and people have gotten a lot longer, and it is a different ask of Jordan Spieth. That I mean, not that I don't see what you're seeing. I want to. I just don't see what you're seing.
Again, I'm happy to take
You gotta have faith, Sully.
I'm happy to take any bullets on this that I need to take, but it's what my pick presupposed is maybe we don't get this Rory and maybe we don't get this Scotty. Like if that was kind of the whole thing was like, yeah, if they do what they're gonna do, they're gonna fucking smoke them, of course.
I
But
think we
like
kinda
maybe
both
we-
didn't.
maybe we
Yeah,
don't
but
get
even
those
if we
guys.
don't, like we didn't get them, and he still finished like 5 back of the next closest guy.
Yeah, he didn't play good. That's what I'm not saying that like I got unlucky or something. It just didn't happen. I was taking a chance and it didn't happen. Solid, congratulations on picking Scheffler, man. That was sick.
Solid question for you: how much longer is the golf course versus like 2015, or even what was the last year he kind of bottled it away? Because,
It is
like,
75-60 now, I believe.
Okay.
I have the book.
But they've
here.
also sandcapped the hell out of it. It seemed like they mowed it tighter in the fairways this year. There's more short grass. It seems like there's less acreage of second cut.
It's 75-65. When he won, it was 74-35. They have lengthened the 5th hole 40 yards. They have lengthened the 2nd hole 10 yards. They have lengthened the 11th hole 15 yards, the 13th hole 35 yards, and the 15th hole 20 yards, and the 17th hole 10 yards.
Setting aside 5, I don't
Also,
think
he's
it's
not playing
that
good.
different of a golf course. I just think the other guys have gotten so much longer
Yes.
and
Yeah. That's
better than
totally.
he has. Yeah.
Totally. I think, yeah. Listen,
Take steroids.
He needed to make some putts, Deej.
yeah, of course. Again,
He just didn't, he needed a hot putter.
yes,
He's
and we didn't get it.
putting, and we
But
didn't
also, you see Team Rose there at 45 years old.
Mickelson, Fred Couples, Bernhard. That's what I'm
Dude,
saying. Is like we
okay.
can't say on one hand, like, man, this place is
God, we
just an
sound like a bunch of
exam.
fucking addicts.
This place, just you got to have course knowledge and who knows, like yada yada
Okay.
yada. I'm saying that I'm not saying he's the favorite. I'm not saying like
No, I know
any of
that.
that. But I'm not quitting either. Like it, I think he'll have another run in his career. Is what I'm saying. At this
Justin
place.
Rose,
At this
Jose
place.
Murillo Fabo, Bernard Long, all these guys play like some of the most contained and respectable golf you can imagine. Jordan Spieth plays golf like a crackhead, okay? Like it's not
That's true.
We are not the same in this.
That's
like I said this to Deal. I was like, Spieth needs to reinvent himself as Justin Rose. Like he needs like a set routine. He needs to take himself off this emotional roller coaster. It's going to make him less appealing. This is part of what we love about him
anymore if he does that.
I know,
He's
but
become a method actor like Rose.
it needs to be like my ball is on a string. I'm always in control of it, and I'm going to be steady, and I'll have my magical moments. Right now, it is just way too up and down. Like everything's an emotional roller coaster. And when he makes 3 birdies in a row, I mean, what hole was it on 10 earlier this week?
Yeah,
he stuffed
so
it to 4 feet, maybe 5 feet. He was watching 4 feet, and Neil caught him. He goes, "Oh yeah," he caught himself. He goes, he won't even hit the hole from there.
And he did it.
He did not.
It was awesome.
The haters, man.
We're not
Search
haters.
Days
I
Tiger
love
this
the
week.
guy.
I spent 4 hours with him.
You're
I
in
was rooting
denial.
my ass off for him.
Deej, you're just in denial.
doesn't
Did he go to a long putter?
No, we should get it. He needs a guru. He needs to go to India and get like yogi stuff.
How do we know he doesn't have a guru?
I'll
It
ask,
doesn't seem like he has a guru.
how many great cross-handed putters
TC.
are there? How many great cross-handed putters are there? Let me throw that out there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Should he?
I hate asking
Spieth
this
circa
question.
2015.
Yeah, that's it.
Has the Greller relationship run its course?
Oh,
Do we need
God.
to do
No.
this?
Oh,
don't
can you
even
imagine how
say
much
that.
worse it would be
He's
without
an
Greller?
immense man, Randy.
Randy
Greller's not the issue. Get the fuck out of here.
That was
Well,
worse
there was
than
a
DJ picking him.
spell.
Get
There was
out.
a spell a few years ago where we said, "Is Spieth holding Greller back? Like, should Greller be winning majors?"
We
for
were
somebody
saying that.
I was saying that.
Yeah.
Michael's not the problem, Randy. Okay.
Find a new slant.
All right, I'll put you guys on the spot. Everybody can shout out one other player. We're already over 2 hours here. We got to keep this thing moving.
We don't have to.
You could shout out one other person or defer.
I'd like to-
Ludwig, 3
Yeah, I was
under.
gonna-
Hold on, before we get
there.
there, I think Brooks warrants a shout out.
Yep.
Before we get there, let me
One
not do
player.
Let me filibuster before we get to Ludwig. I'm just going to take
Brooks
this to 3 hours.
T12. I just want to shout out Brooks. We talked about him like, hey, like we can't go 45 minutes into the preview show without mentioning Brooks these days. Like I think we're back to him being an adult golfer. And then I'm just going to raise my hand and apologize to everybody for P's performance this weekend. It sucked. 72-73. Like this thing was right there for the taking for him. And not only did it suck, I don't know where we go from here with the Fedora 5. Like I think we might just leave the top spot blank next time around. I don't know when we'll even get the next Fedora 5.
Maybe you
guys.
just put it on ice until he plays well again.
So those are my Reed's mine of like, man, that stunk. I also, yeah, I just don't know where we go from here with Reed. Like, is
TC,
he
you had a
going?
tough week all around. Ludwig, Tommy looked like shit today. Ryan Gerard, the hottest player in the world, had a tough day. Like, where do you go from here, brother?
Like I did say, Ludwig. It came down to 18. It looked like it was going to be well in hand, but Ludwig did. He did end up beating Brian Campbell.
Got him by one.
18. Got him by one.
Yeah.
So,
Congratulations.
Which
Big
hand up?
stuff
Campbell
there.
in my keister all week. So shout out to him.
but I mean, P. If you're P, like, is he going to the Volvo China Open next? The Turkish Airlines Open?
I mean, you're talking like literally
Catalunya
geographically, where does he go
Championship?
from here?
Yes, exactly. Like, where does he go before the PGA in May to stay sharp? He's going to be fucking globetrotting.
God, that's a great question. He should make a deal that the tour should let him play practice rounds. Like you can't play the tournament, but you're welcome to
Let
come
him
to the
Monday.
facility. Yeah,
Let him Monday in.
And
exactly.
it's the same thing between the PGA and the US Open. It's the Soudal Open in Belgium, the Austrian Alpine Open, and then the KLM Open in Amsterdam. Like he's going to be playing continental Europe events
Maybe he's on Bryson's
between the
YouTube.
Mink and Shinnecock.
It's a great point.
Dude, I'll shout out Jason Day. I feel like I picked him over the last 12 years like 4 times. Like, Jason Day is going to win the Masters, and today was just kind of summed up his Masters experience. I think 3 over. You know, he was right there, and it's just like, dude, like, he looked great, but just not good. Not closing the deal, man.
I was laughing last night when we were talking about Jason Day. It's like, yeah, he had such a good run, but then he just bogeyed 16. It's like, yeah, he always bogeys 16. Like, that's just how it goes all the time. That was a little bit of an 18-hole version of that today with the 75.
I'll shout out Mav McNeely.
Hell yeah.
T18, that's
Get
his
out of my mouth.
major finish. Like it's not a meteoric rise. He's taking up any list, but it is small incremental gains every year, every week. Like he's just getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And yeah, final round 67 here today to go up to a T18 finish.
Was 67 the best? 5 under the best rounds of the day. Max
No, there was a
Cyril and
65.
Keegan and Gary Woodland shot 6 under.
6 under.
Yeah.
Mav shot 77 first round too. Like he
Yeah.
was 9 under the last 3 days.
I will shout out, not going to make any headlines, but TC, this is, we kind of staked our name on this one. We need him to start playing some real good golf. Michael Brennan under par at the Masters in his first appearance, T24. Don't have a lot to add. I know it's a good course fit, but a tricky place, and you love to see it.
Yeah, anytime you can tie with Brian Campbell at T24, you gotta take that. No, it was a good week.
Randy, you had on the list of like guys you learned something about. I feel like I had Brooks, like look out for Brooks, and Michael Brennan. I was like, man, it's some fire, a guy I'm looking forward to watching in the future. So I'm seeing what you're seeing, TC.
Yeah, and then I mean on the Ludwig front, guys, like I think he's got to add a little bit of artistry to his game. He got put on the speed bag by Scotty yesterday. Like he's got to grow up a little bit. I think from a shot making perspective. And then I think the other guy I learned something about was Goddard. I thought Goddard was more of a dude. I thought we were going to see a top 10 from Goddard this week.
Hey, first Masters jitterbug. It'll get you, Randy.
That's right. Called that one, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, you can keep apologizing if you want, TC. Tommy 4 over today.
Tommy had too much respect, and
Tommy's a gentleman.
Flashy wide boy 6
he's
over.
he's harvesting energy right now heading into Shinnecock.
Randy, you got anyone you want to shout out?
I like to see Matt McCarty. Had no real form, came back to Augusta, top, tied for 24th. Good paycheck for him, decent week.
Good sneaky little resume in his first couple appearances.
Yeah.
Here.
Lefty plays, I think there's something that fits his eye here.
It is interesting. I'm looking at the top 12. I don't know of anyone that is going to need that top 12 exemption next year. I mean, like maybe Jake Knapp. He was definitely trending in a good direction that he would not need that. But yeah, almost everybody's.
Honestly, I thought our guy Max might,
That's what. Yeah,
glad
other
he
than Max.
locked
Yeah.
it.
Honestly, Cantlay.
Yeah.
Like
I'm so glad Cantlay didn't get a top 10 finish. I'm so sick of that whole. Just take it away, Pat.
he'll be back come
35
July,
WGR. That's a good call.
when it's time to just cash a paycheck and put a ski mask on for the FedEx Cup playoffs.
I'm trying to think what else we got in the notebook here. Sergio broke his driver. You guys see that?
No,
Today, that was epic. What was that on number 2?
a
TC?
code of conduct violation.
2T, and then Jeff Yang gave him a code of conduct. Had a stern talking to coming off 4T.
Randy,
We don't
anyone,
do
ever,
that here,
anyone
Randy.
ever had to invoke the code of conduct with you?
No. I wish TC as citizens we could have given Jeff Yang a stern talking to at some points this week. Though.
Code of contact, defiling the golf course, things of that nature.
A little citizens arrest going on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff. Neil, why don't you go grab that candy bar?
Oh, he's already done it.
Hey,
You
did
got
we?
it?
One thing I think we set up, but we didn't really go around was the Rory
Scotty.
total
Oh,
major.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, okay. All right.
No. You keep talking. Neil, hold on. Neil just started putting the candy bars about this. We've been building this up for 3 fucking days. What were you saying,
been
Randy? I'm
building it up.
sorry.
Well, we never quite. I don't think we quite expanded on how many majors we think Rory's going to win.
TC said 9, which I would really like to put in ink somewhere.
I think you said
Sully, I think the over under right now is 7.5.
I think so too. I think you're right.
Which, real quick,
I'd take
I
the
think-
over.
I think we might owe the great man Sevi an apology as well. Like he just passed Sevi. Sevi had 5, correct? But also, is the measure of a man the amount of majors that he wins, or is it? There's a lot of
It's like-
great man stuff during the Ryder Cup, and I'm not sure Rory has yet surpassed the great man Sevi.
This is like one of those winner's press conference questions. TC.
What have you learned about life?
He just breezed right past. He's like, yeah, I think Faldo obviously, and this gets me into conversation with the other guys. But I think there's other variables in play here that aren't just majors.
Other KPIs.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
We might need to codify who is a great man.
Yeah, I think
there's been a lot of inflation in the
sure.
great man category. You guys got carried away.
Just with the major question though, just knowing that Augusta's Rory's home course, we're gonna have a lot of looks at it. I feel like if 7.5 is the line, I'm going over.
I mean, it's been hard going to
get like 11 years without winning.
I know it's not a guarantee. We're not going to get swept up.
Prime.
I think he can get 2 more though. I think
he can.
I would say this. I feel like the criteria of golf courses that I think he can win on is wider than it was like 5 years ago. Like I wouldn't be afraid to do a US Open with him like I have been in the past. Open championships, I would not be afraid. I just think his floor is so much higher. And I would be stunned if he's done. I would be absolutely stunned if he's done. And if we're saying he's probably got 8 to 9 to 10 more decent-ish, not all prime years, but very strong competitive years left in his career, like 2 is very, very, very doable. So I would say he gets to 8.
I wish we could go back in time and replay LACC.
Right? Like current Rory wins LACC, right? And Pinehurst
going
probably.
away.
Pinehurst is the one that's the shorties he missed. I mean, good God.
Yeah.
I'll just to bring the team average down. I'll say he wins 1 more. They're very hard to win. They're very, 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 very hard to win.
7.
Yeah,
you weren't in that press conference. You didn't see how hungry he is.
That's true. I did. I want to see how hungry
the guy needs a candy bar.
All right,
man.
let's do it. Let's do it. This is the new candy bar at Augusta this year. It's received pretty strange reviews. Just talk it out.
I put it in the fridge, so it's a little hard to chew. It is chocolatey.
What other flavor profiles?
It's got a little bit of crunch bar to it.
Okay.
I think it's
like
a
pretty
little
good.
rice, like a little crisp rice in there.
I think the chocolate's a little too rich.
They're asking for you to
with you.
show the package.
the candy bar package.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, sure. No, I mean, it was sold out every day.
Okay.
It's a good
Ollie said
You can't get a bite down. You haven't got a bite down.
That's because it's cold.
It's too chewy.
It's chewy. It's always right. RX bar, chewy, which I don't
too much
like.
caramel or
Yeah, I think so. Not a lot of like.
Still doesn't have a bite down yet.
Any
don't.
nougat?
No, it's too much caramel, whatever. It's like fudge, like toffee almost. It feels almost like toffee. And it's rich chocolate. It feels like
We don't
dark
like
chocolate, which
fudge.
I'm more of a milk chocolate guy. So I would, it's not bad, but I wouldn't say I'm gonna.
You wouldn't.
Let's
Do you
sneak
want
it
to
out.
finish that? Do you want to?
Yeah, I do want to,
Okay.
but it's not my favorite candy bar. It's definitely not my. It's not my style of candy bar. Randy is how I would phrase it. But is
And
it
that's
bad? No,
okay.
it's not bad.
what's the
It's
discuss?
just rich. It's rich. It's very rich. More like in the way that fudge is rich, or toffee. Chewy like toffee, rich like fudge. That's the.
I haven't
direction
had
I'm
any
going.
fudge since we last stepped foot on Mackinac.
Fudge stinks. Fudge
does
stinks.
Fudge is
good.
not bad.
Thanks,
I'm
Big.
going to push back there. Fudge is not bad.
Mild tannins.
A good fudge is nice.
Neil, I think that brings us to another question along with the candy bar that a lot of people are asking, which is
Sure.
your round of golf tomorrow. A couple questions. What time is your tee time? You're still chewing. Is that same bite?
Second bite. Second bite.
Keep asking questions. It's going to take him a while.
Okay. I mean, when Bobby Jones,
Maybe
announced
Cody
that
could run a
Mackenzie
giveaway while
came to
he's,
this
No, I'm
land
good.
in
Go ahead.
Georgia.
Thank you, Solly. Man, I just been waiting. Deej, you're just blocking me this whole time. We had 10,000 people in the live show. I'm excited to
Deej
give
hates the
more
people.
codes
Yeah.
away. We used
Scarcity.
hashtag Rory tonight. I appreciate everybody coming through the live show all week as usual. I'm going to give 2 codes away this evening.
Down.
Yeah.
Oh,
second
I'm
bite's
in
down.
there. I hope I win. First one, Jason, if that's your name, Jason Torsock 7709. There you go. Congratulations. Let me copy that down before I forget.
God, I wish
Good.
someone would
He
have
was
like
just
a
asking about the
Harry,
candy bar.
a Harry Balzania screen name that wins or something.
God,
block
I'm
all that
just
block.
seeing the replay of the trophy presentation here. The Riddler's hair just keeps getting better and better.
It's good stuff.
What a quaff.
Cody, go ahead. Good luck on this one,
Keaton
buddy.
Skytland 2227. Why does everybody got their PIN number in their usernames?
That's a YouTube thing.
Okay.
They add the numbers.
Okay.
Congratulations to both those guys, Jason, Keatlin. Go ahead,
Keaton.
send me an email at Cody@nolayingup.com. I'll get you dialed. I appreciate it, Deej.
Thanks, Cody. Neil, what time are you playing tomorrow? And as we said up front from our friends in Titleist, presenting sponsor of the show, what's in the bag tomorrow? What do you got?
Sure. My tee time's at 12:30. I'm allowed on the property no earlier than exactly 11:30, and I am allowed. I believe they have food there. I will be eating ahead of time so I can maximize my
Smart
practice time. 12:30. What's in the bag? I got the GT3 in the bag. It's set on 10-degree D1. Just
D1. Yeah,
make sure you double check that.
I will with Brooks. That's a good call. I've got the T200 4-iron, T150 5 through 9, and then I have SM11s 44-degree, 54-degree bent to 53. 48-degree, 54 bent to 53, and then I have a new SM11 58. I put a K grind in, a little bit more bounce, which I'm excited about out there at Augusta National. I had a T grind in, but I'm rolling with the K grind. I have a new grip on my putter that I'm very excited about. I regripped it myself. It is lined up. I did go to the range this morning. TC had a site.
Forest Hills.
Yeah, Forest Hills. TC had a tough one there in high school state championship.
No, the qualifier for state championship, just the intra-team qualifier. Bottom line, I think if Augusta wants to do something really, really special post the patch, I think Forest Hills would be
It was a cool place.
awesome project. It's Donald Ross, except for the first 4 holes, which are like dog shit Arnold Palmer stuff because they sold off the first 4 holes. So Augusta University could have those, but really, really good, like good golf course that could be great.
I have, I'm actually, you have to wear pants. I have,
to.
So I got these knit pants. I really like these from FootJoy. You cannot wear 5-pocket pants. That was a question asked in the pre-meeting. So basically jeans. So people were like, what is a 5-pocket pant? It's kind of when they want the pockets on the side, like trousers, right? So they're very specific about the type
Built
of pant.
into it instead of outside.
Yes, they don't want to see any pocket holes, I think is what we're going for. So I'm covered there. Shout out the knit pants. And then I got the Quantums. Those are my golf shoe of choice. My shoe of choice for watching golf are the FootJoy Quantums. And so I'll be rocking those tomorrow. So I'll be comfortable out there. But not as locked into the ground with those, Randy. So we were grooving this morning. We were grooving some second serves at the range. I'm just trying to find that feel. Deej, I will report to you. I plan to hit a bad boy on number 2. It's really see how we're doing. I'm gonna try to rip a driver around the corner on 2.
Do you have any Delta status that would keep you away from that counter?
Take me down. I've never been down there. I'd like to see it for myself if it's Jurassic Park or not. So we're gonna try to send one on 2, and that'll set the tone for the day.
I would give anything to be able to just follow you around tomorrow. I want to see this so badly. I cannot believe you're playing again.
Just to confirm, they set you guys up at the member tees?
They do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
This is what, like 6,400?
About, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna bully the golf course, baby.
God, you're gonna bring it to its knee. You might get an invite, Neil. You play well enough. You might get an invite next
You need
year.
a marker?
I
Come
want
on,
you
boy.
thinking about that.
Come on, boy. You know where to find me.
God, go get yourself an
I
invite.
do, guys. I'm nervous. I feel like I haven't felt this way since like night before a football game.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't it feel like I'm nervous more like, oh my God, I'm going to battle tomorrow. More so than like, oh my God, I'm playing like a golf tournament. It's like, oh shit, man. I was out there like seeing these pins. I was like, the pin on 3? Are you serious? I'm definitely gonna be down by that scoreboard.
Well, guy has so many
Be down
questions.
there and won.
Yeah, baby. We're gonna bully the golf course, Randy.
We're gonna do a whole episode about your round, just like we did with Solly. So look for that this week. So I'll save some of my questions for that. But I do want to know, going in, have you kind of verbalized your mindset? What are you going out there like in the back of your head? Are you like, man, it'd be fucking cool to shoot 71? Or in the back of your head, are you like, it'd just be fun to have make some birdies and have a good time?
I'm kind of wired more like I want to go shoot 71.
Sure.
Like, and I think I would regret it if I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna go have this like yoga experience. Like, fuck no, man. I want to try to hit cups. I like keep, I'm trying to approach this like a tournament, man. Now I'm going to play fast, but like, I want to go at it, man. Let's go. I get one shot at this. I want to see what I can shoot out there.
Neil makes like 6 birdies in a quad.
Yeah, sign me up. I mean, it would probably be like, Randy, I'm going to try to hit cups, but like, it depends on who's in my group because I'm not going to be grinding on stuff, but I'm going to try to hit cups.
I would say my literal advice would be the exact opposite of just like, don't worry about your score and like, I
don't care what your advice is.
Well, I'm saying like
send it.
Send it, but like don't worry about your score and like try as hard as you can to focus on enjoying every single shot and every single like moment of it. And like if it's not going well, who cares? Like you're only going to get one shot to play the 12th hole.
Sure, but I'm going into it thinking like, man, I'm gonna try to build a round. Okay, I'm gonna try to like play good. That's what I'm going to try to do, DJ. I have to declare my intention.
Of course.
I'm not going to go out there and be like, I can't wait to take pictures of this. Like,
no, not pictures.
It's like, no, I'm going to go hit the shots.
Yeah.
And I went today and I was trying to make sure that I want to find the fairway because usually I'm all right, man. If I'm in the fairway, I'm all right.
You said you're trying to bully the golf course too. So
but
bully the golf course and
TC,
find the fairways
because I'm playing at 6,400 yards. Like I do not have to muscle drive. I was trying to hit these like second serve cut, like I very kind of, I mean, JB Holmes-ish, like it's not my favorite ball flight, but like let's find
this. It doesn't sound like bullying the golf course. It sounds like playing proper golf.
Well, I don't have to hit driver everywhere. That's what I mean. I will be hitting driver a lot.
Can I show you what I want to see tomorrow, Neil? I want to see this scorecard out there tomorrow. This would be a success, Cody. If we could see something like this.
Hao Tong Li?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birdies, a 10.
Massive strikes, massive gutters.
Yes. This would be everything for me. Just an 80 that you could be proud of right here.
But yeah, like I'm gonna try to hit the shots. Like obviously I'm gonna try to hit the green on 3 with whatever I drive or whatever the club. I don't know what the number is.
About 340 probably.
Like, what am I gonna go? What am I gonna do on 12? Yeah, I'm going at the stick, baby. Come on.
I think where I worry about you is like 4, 6.
Sure. TC, of course. Deej, maybe a bad boy on 5 again. Go back to the well, see if we can take one over those bunkers. I don't know.
How far is 5 play? Is it?
He wouldn't even need to hit bad boy to hit over the bunkers there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's like 410.
Yeah. God, I can't wait.
I got to stretch it out tonight. I got to get loose. Yeah, that's kind of
on 15.
That would be great, TC. That would set up really well if I could get up the right side on 15. And then, yeah, man, I want to be in the fairway so I can hit the shots. The approaches. That's what I was thinking about today at the range. Like, we're not going to be super tighty with the short game. So I'm going to focus there pre-round.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah, exactly. You're coming off training camp, dog.
Yeah.
That's true. I hit it pretty good this morning. Whatever. Come on.
Great point from the commenters. It's you one time in your life, you versus Stinky Nandina. Who's gonna win?
Who's gonna win? Yeah, you bit your ass. I got that one circled. We've had that one circled all year, Deej.
Like Neil, even if the round goes off the rails, you still you gotta battle waiting.
Oh, I'm going to carry my bobsled over the finish line. I'm not quitting. Like you're saying, like I'm not going to get a bad attitude. Like if I make triple, you boys coming back. Like I'm going to have a good time for sure. But I have a good time when I'm in the cauldron, baby. I love that shit.
Mine was more. I got tripled the first hole when I played, and like I could have let you could have been hangdog coming into that second hole, but it was like no, I get one chance to play the second hole.
Come on,
greatest.
That's when you want to make triple.
Yeah,
right.
That's exactly right.
I think we should do some man in the envelope stuff tonight. I think we should all lock in our predictions. We can reveal them on the podcast on Tuesday.
I love that.
Oh, what was the final? Speaking of which, what was the finals of the?
I don't think we have time for that, TC.
No, I think it's time to go, isn't it? 228. I think that's a long one.
I won $7 million with Rory, Cam Young, Max Homa, Brooks, and Hideki. Neil got second. Good job. Scotty, Russ Henley. Yeah, nice go. Big Randy finished third with 2.25 million with Xander, Jake Knapp, Spieth, and Fitzpatrick, and McNeely. TC finished fourth with Team Rose, Ludwig, Gotterup, Flashy Wide Boy, Big Shot Bob. DJ, $222,000
today, DJ.
Tommy Fleetwood and John Rahm only cut makers.
K-shaped economy right there. That's tough for you, man.
I think, guys, genuinely, I think this is the worst I've ever done in anything like this. Anything. It's awful. awful. It's like
all right.
there's no
Question for you
way if I
guys.
tried to do worse than that. There's no way I
couldn't
could
have
have
done
done
And you didn't even have Spieth on your team.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I
Can you
wanted
do it
to.
as like a pool next time, to where like you got to pick an A player, you got to pick
I
a B
think
player,
so.
a C. Like it feels more natural than the like and more
That's what threw me off.
That's less-
representative.
Whoa,
of the
Wait,
draft.
what are you talking about? You set the rules. I asked you about that.
No, I don't remember that.
Cody,
I don't-
you've not been playing fantasy leagues with this guy for a decade. This is exactly how it goes. We change the rules when it's not going well.
Neil, all right. One more question for you, Neil. What are you going to do all morning? Like, you can't get out there till 11:30.
Hey,
You're just
Zootopia
gonna,
too.
So what you know what I'm
around
gonna do?
for 5
I was actually thinking about that on the drive home.
Zootopia
I am gonna
too.
stretch my nuts off. I'm gonna stretch myself like a rubber band.
Thank you, D.
The overstretch, the speed. Too
Well, I
flexible.
need to get loose, and so maybe do a
What
little
if you
sesh
pull
tonight.
don't pull something.
No, I won't pull some. I got a whole routine. And then TC, I'm gonna go get breakfast somewhere like I'm gonna eat before I get on site. I'm not wasting any time on food when I get there. Okay. And so I'm gonna have a nice sit down somewhere. I don't know where yet, but I'm gonna have a sit down somewhere on Washington Road, and then I'll probably go sit in the Christian bookstore parking lot. And I'm gonna pull up. I might run a red light to get there right at 11:30. Maybe get T-boned on Washington Road.
That would be sick.
Hold. I mean, like Whiplash, DJ like Whiplash when he's going to that music show. He gets T-boned when he rents the car.
Grabs all his music off the street.
Yeah,
Still
yeah.
goes anyway.
I'll be all bloody when I walk in. I got T-time, man.
All right, I don't want to tweak you out too much, but just got to prep. Is there? You don't have to tell us what it is. Preferably, don't tell us what it is. You got a song picked out for Magnolia Lane.
I was thinking about it based on the Masters draft. I'll tell you. Well, I'll tell you a couple options I was thinking about. I was thinking about Mars Volta. Just a shout out to Randy, like getting hostile with his Masters draft. You know, I thought that would, get all hyped up. I was thinking about the Strokes and shout out to Spieth. Know, like what, a time and a place.
Yeah.
It's Rush, Neil. Tom
Maybe
Sawyer.
some Rush. Tom Sawyer's
I
always a
think
good
Rush,
one.
Yeah.
I can't. Come on, it's gotta be Pig by Dave going down the lane.
Sure, that'd be great, Randy. That's a good suggestion. That's a great
know.
suggestion.
What are we
No,
talking
I'll
Two-step.
that'll be personal, Deej. I haven't made that decision yet. I'll let you know when I do, and then I'll probably hit the Quad City DJ on the way out, hit Arby's, and then head to the airport.
A couple suggestions for Mike Stone. 1 week in April. Could be great. There's so many good options.
Thank you, Arnie.
No, I kind of want to get like freakily. I like that. I kind of want to get turned up when I pull in and be like, "How you doing? Fantastic, baby. Turn it up. Maybe Ave Maria, Pavarotti's Ave Maria. Turn it up. We want a little action in here."
Neil, hopefully you see Officer Watkins. Have you guys seen any of that action on
course.
Faldo's account this week?
Of course. He's been great.
Officer Watkins has been a true shining light, in my opinion.
Is he working Magnolia Lane?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll look out for him in the morning.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hit up Faldo's Instagram account. He's done something with Officer Watkins the last like 3 or 4 days. It's been awesome.
Okay.
guys, I think that's gonna wrap it. I just
please.
What a great week. What a great week. Fun day. Congratulations to Rory. Congratulations to all of us for just getting through another big long week. Cody, we don't have to flash that draft graphic anymore. Thank you. Congratulations to Neil. Congratulations. I cannot fucking wait to check my phone at about 5 p.m. tomorrow to see how this went. Actually, don't tell us. At least me. I'll be on the podcast on Tuesday. I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything until we record. I think that'd be even better. But guys, these weeks are the absolute best, and it's very fun when the horses are doing horse things up on top of the leaderboard and making it really fun to tune in. So yeah, as Dave in the comments says, enjoy the rest of that candy bar, Neil. And you guys got anything else? We'll call it there.
Thanks to Cody running the ones and twos. Titleist for presenting the live shows, everyone that tunes in and everybody that says hello on the grounds and everything that makes this a really, really, really special week. It's a really freaking cool blessing to get to do this as a job and to walk around Augusta National. And y'all mind if a white boy get a little sappy tonight? It was really, really freaking cool. And it was an honor. And very, very, very thankful to get to do this for a job. So thanks to everyone.
Don't forget to subscribe, please.
Yeah, please subscribe.
Please.
Cheers.